And we welcome you to a somewhat soggy Spillane Field here in Wareham, Massachusetts. Carter Woodeel and Aiden Doyle here with you. The two teams are going to try and stick it out today. An important game for both sides of this battle between the Brewster Whitecaps and the Wareham Gatemen. Brewster entering this game with a chance to clinch a playoff spot. Jamie Shevchik has talked about how this club is taking it one game at a time, but with a win and a Harwich loss tonight, they can get to the playoffs if that goes their way. Carter Woodeel, Aiden Doyle here with you. What do you think the Whitecaps should be focusing on here heading into this game?
Well, I know it sounds crazy and oversimplified, but Hunter Bishop nailed it right on the head after yesterday's game. He said, when you look at this team, when they've had success, it comes down to the pitching staff, and obviously some timely hits certainly help. But when you look at the pitching staff keeping the ball low, look at Pauly Milto so far this season. When he's found success, it's been setting up those breaking pitches with the command of his fastball, especially down in the zone. If he can locate that fastball right at the knees or even below them out of the zone, getting a hitter to chase, that's where he's going to find success. He's not going to strike out a ton of guys, but if he can keep the ball on the ground, it will lead to more success for Pauly Milto and in turn the Brewster Whitecaps.
Yeah, one of those guys where it's easy to tell when he's on. For Milto, the way you look for it is, like you said, Aiden, getting those baseballs on the ground. Here's the Brewster lineup that the Whitecaps will be sending out for this ball game. Nick Dunn leads off. He'll play second base. Chandler Taylor, the right fielder, hits second. Mickey Gasper, the catcher, bats third. Marty Costas will be hitting cleanup and playing left field for the Whitecaps. Hunter Bishop will hit fifth and play center field. Michael Curry is the designated hitter, batting in the sixth hole. Kyle Datris, the third baseman, will bat seventh. A.J. Graffinino, the shortstop, hits eighth. And Julian Infante will round out the Whitecaps order for Brewster. He will be at first base today for Brewster, and they're going up against Justin Montgomery, the man for Wareham, who's having a terrific season, a 1.11 ERA. He was the starter at the All-Star game, which was here at Spillane Field just a little while ago. In fact, you can still kind of see the red ring around home plate that designated the All-Star game. We're getting ready to start. Here comes the first pitch from Montgomery, and it's grooved in there for a strike to the lefty hitting Nick Dunn. So far on the season, Dunn is hitting .314 with a .388 on-base percentage. No home runs and 17 runs batted in. He's had a terrific year at the plate for Brewster, especially recently. The 0-1 pitch is low to make the count 1 ball and 1 strike on the fastball from Montgomery. Montgomery's got a fastball that'll be in the low 90s. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. It's hit hard down left field. It's going to be a base hit. One hopping in front of a left fielder, John Topa, and a leadoff single for Nick Dunn. And the Whitecaps get their first base runner on in this ball game.
Well, lucky number 13 there for Nick Dunn. That's the 13th consecutive game in which he's gotten a hit. That's the longest active streak in the Cape League so far right now.
And now it's Chandler Taylor's turn. Taylor digging in from the left side up against Montgomery. With Dunn aboard first base, Dunn 1 out of 2 stealing bases this season. Third baseman Kyle Castor is in a bit, guarding a bunt possibility. The first pitch is low to Chandler Taylor. Okay, you said on the rest of the Wareham defense, it's Topa, Kwan, and Metz left to right in the outfield. Third to first in the infield, it's Castor, Baird, Duran, and Sable, with Willie McIver behind the plate doing the catching for Montgomery. The 1-0 pitch misses inside to make the count 2-0 on the fastball from Montgomery. I mentioned the low 90s fastball that Montgomery has. He's also got a slider that'll be in at 85 or 86, a little faster than what a lot of these guys are used to seeing in terms of sliders. Here comes the 2-0 pitch. It's hit hard into center field. Stephen Kwan moves a bit to his right, now heads back and leaps and makes the catch. Kwan perhaps misjudged that a little bit, head back a couple of steps and then had to jump up to grab it, but the man from Oregon State did come down with the baseball, so Taylor is retired.
Well, they say the hardest hit ball to judge is the one hit right at you, and you can see it there with Stephen Kwan in center field. Kind of took a step in, and then I think you realized who was at the plate. Chandler Taylor hits the ball about as hard as anyone off the bat, and that one headed over his head, but a good recovery there by the Oregon State Beaver to make the play.
So here comes Mickey Gasper, the switch hitter hitting from the left side against the righty Montgomery. The first pitch to him misses off the inside corner to make the count 1 ball and no strikes on Gasper. Gasper so far this year having a terrific season. .312 the average, a .440 OBP, 6 home runs, and 28 ribbies. The pitch is in there for a strike on the inside corner to make the count 1 ball and 1 strike on Gasper. A 28 RBI figure. He took the league lead yesterday with a couple of runs batted in. Dunn is aboard first base. We're just underway here in Wareham. Top of the first inning, no score. The pitch to Gasper is hit high in the air but foul toward the left side over the bleachers out there. Makes the count 1-2 on Mickey Gasper. Dunn takes a pretty aggressive lead off of first base as Montgomery now holds the set with the count 1-2. Here comes the pitch. It misses low to make the count 2-2 strikes on Gasper. Gasper, one of those guys that will always extend an at-bat. A very patient hitter, and he's got good plate discipline to go with it. As evidenced by that high OBP, they are going to check the runner at first base. Dunn, and he just dives back in time. Very close over there at first base, but Nick Dunn did just get the hand in before the first baseman Sable was able to slap down the tag. 2-2 strikes the count on Gasper. Here comes the pitch. It's fouled away behind the plate. So the count holds 2-2. Montgomery checks Dunn at first again as he's getting ready to go. Montgomery looking very loose on the mound here, just like he did in that All-Star game appearance here in Wareham. Here comes the 2-2 offering to Gasper. It's way up high. It's over the head of the catcher, MacGyver, and Nick Dunn will scramble over to second base on a wild pitch. That one looked like it might have just slipped out of the hand a little bit of Montgomery and just went straight to the backstop. Got a favorable bounce back there, did MacGyver, but Dunn still able to move over to second base.
Well, that's got to be something you got to keep your eye on today as to how well these, not only the pitchers, but also the fielders are handling the baseball, whether or not they can get a good grip on it. Obviously, it's not raining right now, but throughout the day, especially here in Wareham, they have seen some precipitation, so the grass is still wet.
So we're waiting on a 3-2 pitch. Here it comes. It's hit hard into right field. Moving back a couple of steps is the right fielder Metz. He makes the catch. Dunn is tagging it, heading for third. The throw comes in from the relay man, and he is safe at third base. Nicely done by Nick Dunn to slide in there. Did not have a lot of time, but tested the arm of Metz and the cutoff man, the shortstop Baird, and was able to slide in safely. So it's a runner on third base and 2 men out now for Brewster, and it's up to Marty Costas to try and get this run in. 2 hard-hit baseballs for outs in the outfield for Brewster off the bats of Taylor and Gasper. Costas back in the lineup for today's game. Left yesterday's game midway through, was replaced by Devin Foyle in left field, but is back in there today. The pitch to the right-handed hitter is hit on the ground to shortstop. Baird will scoop it up and throw to first base in time for out number 3. So the Whitecaps get a man on but cannot bring him around. Nick Dunn left stranded at third. At the end of the half, the Whitecaps and the Gatemen are scoreless with Wareham coming to bat. You're listening to Brewster Whitecaps Baseball on the Whitecaps Radio Network.
Do you know what that sound is? That's your new digital marketing department. And that'll be your new web designer. And that's Haibu, where these experts are joined by many more, from web designers to search marketing specialists, who work hard to get your business noticed online and on mobile. Best of all, Haibu can do it all for you, or give you the tools to do it yourself. To find out more, go to haibu.com. That's HIBU.com. Or call 855-464-HIBU. Oh, that'll be your next new customer. Haibu, made for business.
We welcome you back to Spillane Field in Wareham. Carter Rediel and Aiden Doyle here with you on the Whitecaps Radio Network. Wareham sending Quan, Castor, McIver, Duran, and Chiatopa, Metz, Sable, Baird. Those are the 9 that the Gatemen will be sending up here in the bottom of the first inning against Paulie Milto. And Milto is ready to face Stephen Quan, the leadoff hitter batting from the left side. And here comes the first pitch. It's in there for a called strike. Nice frame by Mickey Gasper to get the call there on a pitch that was right around the knee height. So Milto ahead in the count, 0-1. Here comes the 0-1 offering. It's fouled away toward the left side. You mentioned in the pregame how knee height is about where Milto likes to live as a pitcher. He likes to get a lot of heavy stuff down in the zone and a lot of ground balls because of that. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. It's a high chopper toward the right side. Moving over to field is the first baseman, Infante, but he can't come up with it. It kicks off the heel of his glove and trickles toward the pitcher's mound, and reaching on the play is Stephen Quan. We'll see how they score that. It was going to be a tough play to get a covering Milto to double off Quan anyway, but we'll see how that's put in the book.
No signal yet. But that seems to me a play where Infante is charging. Yes, you mentioned it is a tough play because even if he makes the play with the glove, he's got to almost turn a bit and flip back towards a covering Milto at first base. So it's difficult, but still, at least got to get a handle on it there.
So with Quan aboard first base, here comes Kyle Castor, and the first pitch to him misses for ball 1. 1-0 now the count on Castor. That was scored an infield hit for Quan, which I think is appropriate. Brings his average up a couple of ticks. He came into this game at 333. Waiting on a 1-0, here it comes. It's hit high in the air toward left field. Coming in is Marty Costas, and he makes the catch. Had to hustle a bit to get underneath that baseball, but he did. And so Costas puts it away for the first out of the bottom of the first inning. And now it'll be Willie McIver's turn. The Washington Husky having such a terrific year behind the plate for the Wareham Gatemen. 297 the average, 383 OBP, 2 home runs, and 15 runs batted in. Has also been terrific on the base pass for Wareham. He digs in from the right side against Milto. Milto holding the set with Quan aboard first base. Here comes the pitch. It's hit high in the air to right field. Moving back a couple of steps is Chandler Taylor. Now moves a little bit farther back and makes the catch for out number 2. So a couple of fly balls. Kind of uncharacteristic for Paulie Milto early on to retire Castor and McIver. And now it's Jaron Duran's turn. Duran, a Long Beach State dirtbag, digging in from the left side, hitting 268 on the year, but a 412 on base percentage, bolstering his value to this Wareham Gatemen club. Runner on first base. There are 2 men out. We're scoreless in the bottom of the first inning of play. Milto holds the set, getting ready to deal. Here comes the first pitch. It misses down and in. What looked like an opening fastball from Paulie Milto. Makes the count 1 ball and no strikes. The lights are on here in Wareham. It's a very overcast day. There was rain, as you mentioned, Aiden, earlier today, but right now it's dry. 1-0 the count. Milto pitches. And it's in there for a called strike at the knees. It's important to keep track of where Paulie Milto is locating the first couple of pitches to hitters. When he gets ahead in counts, it makes things a lot easier for him. You know, when you force people to protect the plate, force people to swing at pitches, you get more ground balls that way, and that's his bread and butter. 1-1 the count. Here comes the pitch. It misses up high. So 2-1. Now the count on Jaron Duran. Duran, as I mentioned, a Washington Husky. He's a rising junior from Buena Park, California originally. Went to Cypress High School. The pitch misses low to make the count 3-1. It did miss low, but Gasper gave a little nod to Paulie Milto. That's pretty much where they wanted that pitch. The count 3 balls and 1 strike. Duran sporting a face guard on his helmet right now as he digs in from the left side. Here comes the 3-1 pitch. In there for a called strike, 2 at the knees. So it's been nothing but stuff in the lower third of the zone for Paulie Milto in this at-bat, and so far he's been able to hit the spot pretty effectively. The count is full with 2 men out, which means Quan will be going from first. Milto getting the sign from Gasper, shakes his head a couple of times now, gives the nod. And here comes the 3-2 pitch. It's hit on the ground to shortstop. Backhanding it is Graffinino, but he can't come up with it immediately, and everybody's going to be safe. Graffinino wincing a bit. That one looked like it kicked off of this gravel infield here in Wareham, and was a tough play for Graffinino. So we'll see how they score that one as well, but it's 2 on and 2 out for the Gatemen.
Yeah, that one scored a hit off the bat of Duran. I think that's the right call because Graffinino has to range deep into the hole in between short and third, sliding, trying to backhand it. And again, with the wet ball, it's not going to go perfectly into the glove. You're going to see balls kind of slip around, whether it be in the hand, the glove, doesn't really matter. But it's not going to be as easy as it typically is to get a grip on the ball.
So that'll bring up Jake Anchia. The first pitch to the righty hitter is in there for a called strike on the inner edge. Anchia this year hitting .238, a .333 on-base percentage, 4 home runs and 13 runs driven in for Wareham this season. First and second, 2 men out. We're scoreless. Bottom of the first inning here in Wareham. The pitch is a high chopper toward the left side, but third baseman Datris fields it on a couple of hops and throws across to Infante for out number 3. So despite a couple of hijinks in the infield, the Whitecaps do not surrender a run in the bottom of the first. No runs, 2 hits, and 2 left on for Wareham in this frame. At the end of 1 full inning of play, we're scoreless at Spillane Field. You're listening to Brewster Whitecaps Baseball on the Whitecaps Radio Network. We welcome you back to Spillane Field. Carter Waddell and Aiden Doyle here with you. We're starting the second inning of the scoreless game, and the first pitch to Hunter Bishop is just a bit high to the lefty hitter out of the hand of Justin Montgomery. So the count 1 ball and no strikes on Bishop. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. It's in there for a strike. The count is 1-1. Bishop is in the midst of a little mini hot streak for Brewster. The past couple of games, he has done quite well. Had a home run in yesterday's game against the Chatham Anglers, a 2-run shot. The 1-1 pitch misses just a bit outside. So 2-1 is the count on Bishop. On the season, Bishop is hitting .221. That was his first homer of the year last night. He's got 10 ribbies. The pitch is hit hard but foul left field line out of play. Giving it a bit of a look there was the left fielder John Topa, but it did tail beyond his reach. That one had some good distance off the bat of Bishop. No one has ever questioned Hunter Bishop's ability to hit the ball hard. 2-2 is the count, and Montgomery gets the sign he likes. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. It misses up and away. 3-2 now the count. We're in the top of the second inning, and Jamie Shevchik has talked about the first 2 innings setting the tone. He's mentioned that the last 2 times we've interviewed him after the last 2 ball games that Brewster has played. Here comes the 3-2 pitch to Bishop. It misses up high, ball 4, so a leadoff walk as Hunter Bishop reaches. That's the first walk surrendered by Montgomery in this ball game. The past 4 games that Brewster has played, whoever was winning after 2 wound up winning the ball game, and that was what Jamie Shevchik was talking to us last night. And if you take a wider look at it, the past 3 weeks, there have been 14 games where either side has scored in the second inning, and 71% of the time, the team winning after 2 wound up going on to win the game. So Jamie Shevchik, not wrong when he talks about how important the first couple of frames are and how important the starting pitching is in that respect. Michael Curry digs in now for Brewster. The first pitch to him misses outside as the catcher McIver had to kind of reach across his body to glove that one. We're scoreless here on the top of the second. Hunter Bishop is aboard first base with nobody out. And now Montgomery will come set. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. That 2 misses outside, and the catcher McIver is going to jog out and have a talk now with Montgomery. Michael Curry so far this year hitting .275, a .427 on base percentage. Just the one home run in games that count, with 11 runs driven in. I say in games that count because here at Spillane Field in Wareham, he had a home run in the All-Star game that got out of this ballpark in a hurry down the left field line. That's the kind of baseball that Michael Curry can hit. He's got a ton of pop in his bat, but recently he's been struggling a bit with getting jammed. We've seen a lot of pop flies or shallow fly balls off the bat of Curry recently. Here comes the 2-0 pitch, and it's again outside to the Georgia Bulldog, hitting from the right side, so 3-0 is the count now on Curry. And again, it looks like we're going to have a meeting on the mound here now as MacIver comes out, and he'll be joined by the pitching coach for the Wareham Gatemen, Jim Lawler. And they'll have a conversation here. You were mentioning, Aiden, there is a bit of drizzle that's now starting to come down here. We can feel it here as we're outdoors out in our broadcasting location. And this is not the first game that we've had that's been in kind of a strange situation in wet weather. I remember when we were back in Falmouth and Bradley Spooner was pitching for Brewster. Had a pretty good day numbers-wise, but when Morris Sheridan, or it was you actually who talked to him after the game, he was saying, listen, I can't really grade how my start went because the entire time I was fighting against the wet ball. And you wonder if that might be something that creeps up on Montgomery here as this game progresses. 3-0 is the count on Curry. Here comes the pitch, and it misses upstairs for ball number 4. So Michael Curry didn't get a lot near the strike zone. Back-to-back walks to start off the second inning for Montgomery, and the Whitecaps have 2 on and nobody out for Datris here. We are scoreless in the top of the second. The corners have now been brought in as the third baseman Kasser and the first baseman Sable are taking a couple paces in there right now, just on the fringes of the infield grass, both of those players. Datris hitting from the right side. Still nobody out for the Whitecaps. The righty Montgomery holds the set, and he will now step off the mound and give a look at the runner on second base, Bishop. Bishop does have plenty of speed at second, though he's had trouble utilizing it so far this year. He's 3 out of 7 stealing bases. Michael Curry is a catcher by trade over at first, not the fastest guy on the team. Here comes the first pitch to Datris, and the righty takes a strike at the knees. Count 0-1, a nice hearty nod from MacIver behind the plate. That's where he's been looking for that fastball. So the count's 0-1. Datris on the season is hitting .239, no home runs, 7 runs driven in. On base percentage of .372 for the Carolina Tar Heel. And he faces an 0-1 count. Montgomery holding the set. Checks the runner again. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. It's grounded foul behind the plate to make the count 0-2. Curry will head back to first base. He was going on contact, and now he will slowly saunter over there. So 0-2 the count here on Datris. As the rain continues to sprinkle, it may have picked up just a little bit, just a drizzle right now here in Wareham. There is rain in the forecast. I know the game in Hyannis was preemptively called off. 0-2 pitch coming. It's fouled back, just barely got a piece. Did Kyle Datris just push that one back behind the plate. So the count holds 0-2 on Datris. And Montgomery still taking his time out there, not phased by the weather. Now comes set. First and second, still nobody out for the Whitecaps. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. It skips in front of the catcher, MacIver, and gets away from him to his right, and the runners will move up a base. That one just skipped in front of MacIver just a little bit. Couldn't control it when it whacked off of his chest protector. That's all Hunter Bishop needed to move over to third, and Michael Curry followed him to second base. So on what I think is going to go in the book as a wild pitch, it's now second and third for the Whitecaps with nobody out.
That was a really good read there by Hunter Bishop. He didn't get too far away from MacIver behind the plate, but Bishop, like you mentioned, Carter, with good speed, read it well, understood that was able to get into third base, and not even a throw from MacIver.
That really changes the fabric of this inning. The infield now in for Wareham. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. It skips away, and it's another wild pitch. Bishop scrambling for the plate. He'll get there with the first run of this ball game. How do you like that? Back-to-back wild pitches. That one bounced in front of MacIver and wound up flying over his right shoulder to the backstop, and there was nothing he could do. Bishop scores. Curry moves to third, and the Whitecaps lead 1-0.
Yeah, it seems as though Montgomery's having a bit of trouble holding on to this baseball so far. Obviously, back-to-back walks to Bishop and Curry to start off the inning, and now back-to-back wild pitches. Really having trouble so far finding the zone.
So the infield stays in for Wareham, and meanwhile, Datris is still at the plate. The count is 2-2 on him. Quite the eventful at-bat for the man from UNC. Righty to righty. Montgomery holds the set, takes a deep breath, and deals 2-2. Swing and a miss, he got him. Datris out in front of that one. An off-speed pitch there from Montgomery gets his first strikeout of this ball game. And that's the first out of the second inning.
Just a great pitch there by Montgomery. Obviously, with the count 2-2, not 3-2, he can afford to miss down and away, trying to get Datris to chase. Like you mentioned, Carter just missed down and out of the zone. Datris did a good job staying alive, battling back. But
so here's Graffinino, and lefty hits a hard ground ball down the first base line. It's just foul. That one maybe a foot or two foul toward the right of the first base bag. Off the bat of A.J. Graffinino. So the count 0-1 on the Washington Husky with Curry aboard third base. The Whitecaps have the lead. It is 1-0. Brewster here in the top of the second. One man out. And here comes the 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Out in front of that one again, there was Graffinino. So perhaps Montgomery deciding the off-speed stuff is what's working for him. He flashed a smile after getting Graffinino to swing early on that pitch. 0-2 now the count on Graffinino. Curry is aboard third. And Montgomery staring in once again. Infield remains in for Wareham. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. It misses up high to make the count 1-2. Both of these teams are in fourth place in their respective divisions. Coming into this ball game, Brewster's at 16-19-2. Wareham is at 16-19-1. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Hit on the ground sharply through to right field for a base hit. Scoring from third base is Michael Curry. It's a ribby single for Graffinino. Took advantage of the infield being in there as it skipped right past the second baseman Duran, and it's now 2-0 Brewster.
Just a great job there by Curry, or excuse me, by Graffinino, hitting that one towards second. You mentioned the infield being in right past the second baseman Duran. Kind of had to play it off to his left, and it was a tough hop for him too. Couldn't make the play, scampered into right field, and an RBI single for A.J. Graffinino.
So here comes Julian Infante digging in for the Whitecaps. That's Graffinino's 12th RBI of the season. He's now got a dozen on the year for the Whitecaps this season. Infante is a righty hitter digging in. And here comes the first pitch from the righty, Montgomery. It's cut on and missed. On a pitch that was low to make the count 0-1. Does look like there is a bit of activity for Wareham in their bullpen. They're behind a screen out there, so it's tough to tell exactly who is warming, but a righty is warming in the Gatemen pen right now. Runner on first base. One man out. Here in the top of the second inning in Wareham, the pitch to Infante is taken for a strike. And again, it looked like Montgomery took something off of that pitch. Infante, you could tell, wasn't quite timing that one right. So the count, no balls and 2 strikes now on the Vanderbilt Commodore. And he'll dig in once again. Montgomery shakes off a couple of signs. He's now ready, holding the set. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. It's hit hard, foul down the third base line. As Ryan Smythe, the third base coach, had to do a little skip to my Lou out there. Kind of exchanging barbs with the folks in the dugout. 0-2 remains the count. It's 2-0 Brewster, top of the second inning. Montgomery kind of shaking his head as Graffinino is on first base. Infante digs in. 0-2 is the count. Here comes the pitch. It misses way up high to make the count 1-2. And Montgomery, after delivering that pitch, he blew into his hand. He wiped his hand on his pants sleeve. He rubbed it up the baseball as well as he could. Does look like the moisture in the air and with this drizzle and on the field is affecting the way Montgomery is pitching here. Waiting on a 1-2. Here it comes. It's hit hard into right field. That one's going to get down for a base hit. Moving to his right to cut it off is the right fielder, Robbie Metz. He'll get to it. Graffinino will hustle into third base on the Infante single, and it's now first and third for Brewster with still just one man out here in the top of the second inning.
Nice job there by Infante lining that one down and away into right field for the base hit. But if you notice, Carter, Graffinino kind of slipped, lost his footing, rounding second base. And then also the cutoff man out there, Duran, had trouble transferring the ball to his throwing hand. So it still continues to be an issue for these players on both sides, Wareham and Brewster, to not only get their footing, but get control of the ball.
It seems like the rain has just been steadily increasing since we've started, just kind of bit by bit by bit. And certainly this is one of those games where you have your eye on the fifth inning. First and third now for Brewster, one man out, and we're back to the top of the Whitecaps order with Nick Dunn digging in from the left side. Here's the first pitch, and the Maryland Terrapin takes a pitch outside for ball number 1, so 1-0 the count on Dunn. Dunn had a single his first time up to start off this ball game, was left stranded at third base, and now we're going to have another visit to the mound here. And that looks like that's going, well, he's got the baseball in his hand, does Montgomery, and the infield will be called in. It looks like Jim Lawler's going to have a conversation, and that is going to be it for Montgomery today. So Montgomery, the starter for the All-Star team, one of the better pitchers on the Cape, but just didn't have it for the Gatemen. And knowing how short this game may be, I'm sure that's probably factoring into the decision. He has been removed as they are bringing on a right-hander to replace him. We'll tell you a little bit more about him when we return. The Whitecaps have 2 runs already in this second inning. They lead 2-0 on the Whitecaps radio network. We welcome you back to Wareham, Whitecaps and Gatemen here at Spillane Field. And Tanner Dodson from Cal is coming on for Wareham. This is a sign that Dodson and his coaching staff are aware of how short this game might be. And the first pitch that he delivers to Nick Dunn misses down and in. The count is now 2 balls and no strikes. Remember, Montgomery, the starter, got pulled with the count 1-0. So if there's a walk or a hit in this at-bat, it's going to wind up being charged to him. It's first and third for Brewster with 1 man out. The 2-0 pitch is grooved in for strike number 1. Tanner Dodson is one of the most exciting prospects to watch on this Wareham Gatemen team. You could say on the Cape as a whole. Rising junior from Elk Grove, California, got a fastball in the mid-90s as the 2-1 pitch is fouled back to the screen to make the count 2 balls and 2 strikes. Dodson, on top of all of that, is a two-way player. He was the source of a little bit of controversy the last time we were here in Wareham when he was brought in to hit for himself and then pulled. There was a whole dispute between Jamie Shevchik and the umpiring crew as the 2-2 pitch is lifted into shallow left field. Coming in is the left fielder Topa, and the catch is made by the shortstop Baird as he runs out and calls everybody off. Nice job by Baird taking charge. That's out number 2, and nobody moves.
And if you remember in that game, Carter, Dodson was the winning pitcher, but also, because he was a two-way player like you mentioned, scored the winning run. So that's something you certainly don't see every day in the scorebook. Winning pitcher, and he scored his own go-ahead run.
You'll take that any day of the week, right? So it's still first and third. The runners, as I mentioned, don't move, and now it's Chandler Taylor's turn. The pitch to Malefty is hit hard into left field. Moving to his left is the left fielder, and that was going to get down for a base hit. One run scores easily. Infante's hustling around third. He's being waved home by Ryan Smythe. The throw will come in, and the throw is not in time. He slides in under the tag. It's a 2-run double for Chandler Taylor, and the Whitecaps double their lead. It's now 4-0.
Nice job there, not only by Taylor, obviously, to shoot that one the other way into left field, but great hustle from Julian Infante. Obviously, with 2 outs, he's running on contact, but Infante still hustling from first, scores on the play. It was a close play, but a good job there by him, just running hard the entire way, head down, looking at his base coach, knowing, okay, this is something I got to score on, not looking out towards left field and trying to see what the left fielder Topa's doing.
Those are Ribby's number 18 and 19 for Chandler Taylor in Cape League competition this year. Now it's Mickey Gasper's turn. Switch hitter still hitting from the left side against the righty Dodson, and the pitch is in there for a called strike on the fastball to make the count 0-1. So far, it doesn't look like Dodson is quite as affected by the moisture on the baseball as his precursor Montgomery was. Both of those runs that Brewster brought in on that Taylor double will be charged to the Gatemen starter. The 0-1 pitch skips in front of McIver, and staying where he is the runner at second, Chandler Taylor. 1-1 the count on Gasper. Gasper, his first time up, hit the ball hard, but right to the right fielder Robbie Metz, so he's 0 for 1 on his day. Holding the set now is the pitcher Dodson. The pitch is a ground ball right side, a high chopper. It's scooped up by the first baseman Sable. He goes to the bag himself in time for out number 3. So Taylor left in scoring position for Brewster, but the Whitecaps put up a 4 spot in the top of the second inning. They get 4 runs on 3 hits, and they leave 1 runner on. At the end of an inning and a half here in Wareham, it's 4-0 Brewster. You're listening to Whitecaps Baseball on the Whitecaps Radio Network. We welcome you back to Wareham. Want to remind you that you can earn a bachelor's or master's degree, you can complete a certificate, or just take a single course through the Division of Continuing Education and Graduate Studies at Curry College. Classes run days, evenings, and weekends in Milton and Plymouth. To learn more about programs in business, criminal justice, education, nursing, and more, visit curry.edu. Carter Whittiel and Aiden Doyle here with you. We welcome you back to Spillane Field. The Whitecaps put up a 4 spot in the top of the second, and that is the score, 4-0 Brewster. It'll be John Topa, Robbie Metz, and Blake Sable due up for the Wareham Gatemen in the bottom of the second inning against Paulie Milto, who worked a pretty clean first frame, got a couple of infield singles that he did give up in that inning, but Wareham stranded both of those runners. And the leadoff hitter, John Topa, will dig in for the Gatemen. Topa, a right-handed hitter. He's hitting .278 on the year. No home runs and 9 runs driven in. He's got a .363 on-base percentage to this point on the Cape this year. Milto staring in, and here comes the first pitch at the bottom of the second. And it's a fastball grooved in there for strike number 1. Count, no balls and 1 strike. Both of those infield singles did come on ground balls for Milto. Also got a ground ball out to finish that first frame. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Just misses low to make the count 1-1. Mentioned before how important ground balls are to Milto, but this field and these conditions probably not the best for a ground ball pitcher. Here comes the 1-1 offering. It's hit high in the air into shallow right field. Chandler Taylor moves to his left, still moving over to his left, and he makes the catch, maybe 3 or 4 steps from the foul line. And that retires John Topa, out number 1 of this bottom of the second.
Yeah, we've actually seen Milto work a few more fly balls, and so far he's got 3 fly ball outs, just 1 ground ball out, which, like you mentioned in the first inning, Carter, a little bit uncharacteristic of the Indiana Hoosier, but hey, whatever's effective. It is a rather big ballpark here, 330 down the right field line, 315 to left, but left center field's pretty deep here at Spillane Field.
Here's Robbie Metz, and the righty fouls the first pitch back behind him to make the count 0-1. And to add to that, Aiden, the infield here has to play a factor. If you're thinking about getting a lot of balls on the ground, if you've never been here to Spillane Field, it's a gravel infield. It's the color of like the lead that you'd find in a pencil, as the 0-1 pitch is fouled back again to make the count 0-2 on Metz. And one of the characteristics of the gravel infield, especially on a day like this where there's been a lot of precipitation coming through, is it's very hard, and sometimes you can just have a tough hop and it'll just skitter like it goes off of a glass something and goes straight to the outfield. As the 0-2 pitch is fouled away right side. So another thing to keep in mind here in Wareham, Mets behind in the count quickly 0-2. He's hitting .284 on the year, a .296 on base percentage, no home runs and 6 ribbies for Mets so far this season from George Washington, and he fouls off another one. So Milto having trouble putting him away. The count is 0-2. Milto had one of the better pitching performances of the season 2 starts ago for Brewster anyway, when he went 7 innings, just faced the minimum, only gave up 1 hit, but last time out was not as effective. 0-2 pitch misses up and away. That last time out was also at home against Hyannis back on last Friday, July 21st. Went 4 innings, 7 hits allowed, gave up 6 runs, 4 earned. 2 walks and 3 Ks in that game. Here comes the 1-2. It's hit hard on the ground to shortstop. Graffinino will field it on a couple of hops and throw across to first. It is in time for the out. Give Robbie Metz credit. He was hustling over to the bag, but they did just beat him by a half a step, and that's out number 2.
Yeah, that was a lot closer of a play than I think a lot of people thought it was off the bat. I think you give Graffinino there, kind of playing it on a hop, giving him some space, recognizing that, hey, if I come charging in and it takes a bad hop on me, I have 0 time to recover. So kind of letting it come up on him, which typically you don't see shortstops do that. They want to get to the ball as quickly as possible, but they're just giving himself as much space.
The pitch to the lefty, Blake Sable, is in there for a called strike on the fastball. The Whitecaps lead 4-0 here in Wareham. We are in the bottom of inning number 2. And the count is 0-1 on Sable. Milto is ready to deal. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. It misses low. Sable out of USC, originally from Aliso Viejo, California. So far this year hitting .169, a .247 on base percentage. Just have a home run and 6 ribbies. The 1-1 misses inside, so 2-1 now the count on the rising sophomore. Milto, as always, very efficient on the mound. Real workhorse when he gets out there. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. It misses down and in to make the count 3 balls and 1 strike. And that was the role that he had as a bullpen workhorse for much of the season for Brewster. But there's been a lot of changes in this Whitecap starting rotation. That's something these two teams have in common. Here comes the 3-1 pitch. It's hit hard. Diving play, but can't get to it. Is the second baseman done? It's into right field for a base hit. A hard hit single off the bat of Sable. And Nick Dunn did his best to try and put his glove on it, but couldn't. So Sable is on board.
Well, it's the second hard hit ball we've seen to the left of the second baseman here that gets into right field. That one obviously off the bat of Sable. The first one was Graffinino's RBI single that got past Duran at second base in the top of the second inning. Always tough going to the left, and only compounded by the inclement weather here at Spillane Field. And the gravel infield, of course.
That'll bring up Ben Baird hitting from the right side. The pitch is fouled back to the screen by Baird to make the count 0-1 to start things off for him. Baird getting the start here for Wareham in the 9 spot at shortstop, hitting 148 when he's been able to get in the lineup this year. No homers, 3 ribbies. Runner on first base, 2 men out, 4-0 Whitecaps, bottom of the second. The pitch from Milto misses inside on a fastball, makes the count 1-1. Those fastballs from Milto, he doesn't light up the radar gun too much. It'll be high 80s, but they sound heavy when they smack into Mickey Gasper's mitt. Designed to get soft contact. 1-1 is the count. Here comes the pitch. just misses. Down and away. So 2-1 now the count on Ben Baird. Another Washington Husky. Now, yesterday we saw a lot of UNC Tar Heels, and today a lot of Huskies for both of these clubs. Though originally he hails from California, a rising sophomore. The 2-1 pitch misses outside, so 3-1 is the count now on Baird. Paulie Milto trying to protect this 4-0 advantage. Sable does have speed over at first base. He's 6 out of 6 stealing bases in Cape League play this year. Waiting on a 3-1 from Milto. Here it comes. It's low for ball 4, so 2 on and 2 out on a single and a walk. A little bit of a 2-out rally now for the Gatemen. And now it's back to the top of the order in Stephen Kwan. Kwan, his first time up, had one of those infield singles that we saw from Wareham Gatemen in that first inning. It was a ground ball to the right side, and Infante, the first baseman, charged to field it, wound up just kicking off the heel of his glove, and the official scorer deciding wouldn't have made the play anyway. The pitch to Kwan is in there for a strike. Kwan out of Oregon State. Originally kind of made his name as a guy who was great at running, good at bunting, and a great defensive outfielder. But he can also get on base and get some hits at the plate as well. He's a leadoff guy in every sense of the word. 0-1 pitch misses low, so 1-1 the count. Milto undoubtedly was not anticipating this. He was so efficient at the start of the inning, got a fly ball from Topa and a ground ball from Metz to retire the first 2 hitters. But a couple of lengthy at-bats after that. 1-1 pitch in there for a strike to make the count 1-2. So again, Milto a strike away from putting this inning behind him. It's 4-0. The Whitecaps lead. They put up a 4 spot in the top of the second. First and second, 2 men out for the Gatemen. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Fouled back, just got a piece. Did Stephen Kwan, just kind of waved at that off-speed pitch there from Milto. And the count is 1-2 still on Kwan.
And Kwan's not a guy who's going to strike out easily. He's going to battle. He's going to put the ball in play. Just 8 strikeouts this season in 19 games, 78 at-bats.
Only 15 his entire spring season with Oregon State. That's in 55 games. The 1-2 pitch misses outside, so it's 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs with 2 on here in the second inning. And Milto again having to work hard here in this at-bat in a game where there's rain approaching and it's a speculation as to whether we'll be able to go the full 9. Getting to the starter is key. 2-2 pitch misses up high, so the count is full. That will send both of the runners now with 3-2 and 2 out. So a big pitch here for Paulie Milto in a shutdown inning in every sense of the word, trying to protect that 4-run top of the second that Brewster was able to put together. Here comes the 3-2 pitch. It's up high for ball 4. So a single and a pair of walks issued by Paulie Milto with 2 outs here in the second inning, and now the bases are loaded for Kyle Kasser.
That was a heck of an at-bat there by Stephen Kwan. Falling behind 1-2, working the count back, gets it to a full count, and then Milto just missed upstairs with a fastball. But again, this is an inning where Milto got the first 2 batters, 1 on a flyout, 1 on a ground out, and obviously Wareham with 3 consecutive base runners. He's got to limit, them here, try and get that trademark ground ball. I mean, sure, he'll take it out any way he can get it.
The pitch to the lefty Kyle Kasser is inside for ball 1. Going from a beaver to a duck here. Oregon State for Stephen Kwan, and now Kasser out of Oregon. The bases are loaded with 2 men out. Milto holds the set. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. It's in there for a called strike at the knees. That's the sort of pitch that Paulie Milto likes to throw, able to get it there. So that evens the count up. 1 ball and 1 strike to Kasser, who flew out to left field his first time up for the Gatemen. 1-1 pitch on the way from Milto. Here it comes. It misses up high. So 2-1 now the count. Big at-bat here for Milto. At the moment, the Whitecaps bullpen appears to be silent. Milto, a guy who knows how to work through trouble. Base is full here. Comes to 2-1. In there for a called strike at the knees. So for the 3rd straight hitter, Paulie Milto is a strike away. The previous 2, he was not able to put them away. Wound up surrendering walks to the 9-hitter Baird and then Kwan. Count even 2-2 now on Kyle Kasser. Waiting on a 2-2 pitch to a lefty hitter. Here comes the pitch from Milto. It's hit hard into center field. Moving in is center fielder Bishop, moving into his right, but it drops in front of him for a base hit. 1 run scores. 2 runs will score for Wareham. The ball gets away a bit. Now heading over to third base is Quan, and he'll get there safely. It's a 2-run single for Kyle Kasser, and the Wareham Gatemen have cut Brewster's lead in half. It's now 4-2 Whitecaps.
Good job there by Kasser, shooting it into left field. Didn't get a great piece of it, but just hit it hard enough to obviously get it into the outfield grass and drop it in front of Costas and Bishop. But then the throw from Bishop trying to get Baird at home wasn't great, kind of skipped into Kyle Datras, who was the cutoff man, got away from him, kind of skipped weird off of this wet grass, which then allowed Stephen Kwan to move into third base.
So now the 3-hitter, Willie McIver, digs in. Kasser bringing his RBI total into double digits with that one. Now has 10 for the season with that pair of RBI. The pitch to the righty is taken for a ball 1 by Willie McIver, who flew out to right field his first time up. Now all of a sudden the tying run is aboard at first base for Wareham. And the go-ahead run at the plate here in the second. 1-0 pitch. Hit him. That looked like something off speed but didn't bite, and looked like Willie McIver kind of knew it. He kind of turned his shoulder. That one hit right above the 1 in his number 17 on his back. So again, the bases are full of Gatemen, and that'll send Austin Straub out to the mound to have a chat with Paulie Milto.
Yeah, Milto, you've talked about it, Carter, is getting ahead of these hitters. Obviously not there with McIver, but overall, he's been getting ahead, getting those 0-2, 1-2 counts. You've mentioned a couple times just this inning being 1 strike away from getting out of a jam and hasn't been able to put him away. Kind of missing upstairs with that fastball. With the exception of that hit by pitch there, it's been mainly the lack of fastball command. He hasn't really missed a whole lot with the breaking stuff. It's just been missing either outside or high with the heater.
So after the quick chat, Austin Straub will head back to the dugout. That'll bring up the cleanup hitter, Jaron Duran. And it's now a very important spot for Paulie Milto and the Brewster Whitecaps. Duran, his first time up, had an infield single. Another ground ball that couldn't be turned into an out. Bases full of Gatemen. It's 4-2. Brewster still ahead. We're in the bottom of inning number 2 here at Spillane Field. Here comes the pitch to Duran, and it misses down and away. Count is 1-0 on JD, as they call him. Duran from Long Beach State, a rising junior from Buena Park, California. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. It's hit hard into left center field. That one's going to get down for a base hit, splitting the outfielders and rolling all the way to the left center field wall. 1 run will score easily. Heading to third base and staying there is the runner Willie McIver. Moving over to second with a ribby double is Duran, and it's a 1-run game. Or it's a 2-run double, and it's 4-4. Shows how much I know. Wareham has tied this score.
Another one there by a left-handed, or excuse me, a Wareham hitter where he shoots it into left center field. Duran going the opposite way. He hit that one harder than Kyle Kasser did for that 2 RBI single. That one obviously rolling out towards the warning track in the deepest part of the ballpark here at Spillane Field. But again, Milto leaving that fastball out over the plate and allowing a Wareham hitter to square it up.
A 2-run double for Jaron Duran, second and third, 2 men out. The pitch to Anchia is in there for a strike. Anchia is hitting from the right side for Wareham. His first time up, he hit a hard ground ball to third, but Datras was able to get him at first base for the out. So 0-1 the count. Second and third, and a tied ball game. The pitch is in there for a strike. So 0-2. Milto again ahead in the count. Looks like the Whitecaps bullpen has awakened. It's Joe Demers that's warming up for the Whitecaps. Another workhorse sort of pitcher. 0-2 is the count. The pitch to Anchia is hit high in the air, foul ground right side. Moving to his left is Infante, the first baseman, and he makes the catch. So that retires the side, but the Gatemen get 4 runs to even this game right back up again. They get 4 runs on 3 hits. They leave 2. At the end of 2 innings of play, we're all even, 4-4 on the Whitecaps Radio Network. We welcome you back to Spillane Field. Carter Waddiel and Aiden Doyle here with you. It's tied at 4 as we start the third inning of play. Marty Costa digging in for Brewster, and the pitch is fouled back. Took a big swing at that offering from Dodson, did Marty Costas, but just underneath it a touch, and it went straight back to the screen behind him. And here comes the 0-1 pitch. It's hit hard, ground ball right side. The first baseman, Sable, fields it, and he will go to the bag himself for out number 1. That was a nice play on a tricky hop there from Sable. Had to scoop it up against his chest, but recovered and went over to beat the speedy Costas to the bag. There's one gone.
Yeah, that was one of those trademark Spillane Field gravel infield hops. Kind of ate him up a little bit, came up on him. But like you mentioned, Carter, good job just taking it kind of in the chest, knocking it down. Actually never fell, kind of caromed off of his chest into the glove, and able to take it himself to the bag for out number 1.
So here's the lefty swinging Hunter Bishop, and the man from Arizona State takes a breaking ball strike for strike number 1. 0-1 the count. There's one out. Here in the top of the third, tied at 4. The pitch to Bishop. Misses up and away. So the count 1 ball and 1 strike now. Hunter Bishop, a couple of off-speed pitches from Dodson. His best weapon, of course, is that fastball. Here comes the 1-1 offering. It's hit on the ground, right side. Again, Sable will field it, a much slower ground ball, and he flips to a covering Tanner Dodson for out number 2. So 2 grounders to first, very different in the way they came off the baseball bat, but it's 2 outs all the same for Wareham.
Yeah, it's actually 3 in a row because the top of the second ended with a ground ball to Sable at first base.
So now it's Michael Curry's turn. Curry, the man out of Georgia, hitting from the right side, as Dodson is ready to go here. Curry, his first time out, drew a walk and then later came in to score on that 4-run second for Brewster. He takes a pitch down and in for ball number 1. So 1-0 the count on Michael Curry. Didn't really have anything to hit in that first at-bat to the man from Georgia. The 0-1-0 pitch, swing and a miss. 1-1 the count. That was up above the zone, and Curry chased it. Counts 1-1. Dodson staring in over the webbing of his glove and now deals the 1-1 pitch. It's just a bit outside as that one just popped off the glove of MacGyver and went over to the backstop. MacGyver kind of held the glove there. He tried to frame the pitch with the ball going behind him. Kind of a funny image. Didn't get the call. 2-1 pitch coming. It's hit high in the air to right field down the line. It will tail foul. 2-2 the count.
One right off the top of the school bus that brought the Whitecaps here to today's game.
Huh.
It's parked over in a little cul-de-sac over there, but beyond the first base side, behind the bleachers, and dropped right on top of it.
Here comes the 2-2 pitch. It's a high chopper toward the left side. The shortstop, Baird, will field it and throw to first on the run. It's in time for the out. A nice play by Ben Baird to take charge. And it's a very quick 1-2-3 inning. 3 ground balls worked by Tanner Dodson in this frame. We're through 2.5, tied at 4 at Spillane Field. You're listening to Brewster Whitecaps Baseball on the Whitecaps Radio Network. Why are we check? We welcome you back to Spillane Field in Wareham. It's tied at 4 as we start the bottom of the third inning of play, and there's a new pitcher to tell you about for the Whitecaps. Joe Demers has been called upon to relieve Paulie Milto, as John Topa, Robbie Metz, and Blake Sable are due up for the Wareham Gatemen. Those are the same 3 hitters that were due up in the second. They set 9 men to the plate and putting up that 4 spot in the second inning. Both teams scoring 4 runs in the second frame. And here comes the pitch from the righty Joe Demers. And it is just a bit off the plate to make the count 1 ball and no strikes. As I mentioned, both of these teams getting those runs in the second inning. We're tied after 2. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. It misses up and away. 2-0 now the count. The 2-inning period, very important to Jamie Shevchik. Last 4 times the Whitecaps have played. The way the game was after 2 innings was the way it was at the end of the game, including that tie against Hyannis. It was tied after 2 in that ball game. 2-0 pitch is cut on and missed. Big golf swing there from John Topa. And the count is 2 balls and 1 strike. Demir's able to get his first K since entering this game. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. Misses away, so 3-1 is now the count. On the season so far for Joe Demers, he has been terrific. ERA of 1.68. This is appearance number 11 for him, all out of the bullpen. In 16 innings pitched, he's got 16 strikeouts, only 3 walks, and just allowed 21 hits in those 16 innings pitched. The 3-1 pitch is in there for a called strike 2, so the count now full on John Topa. Topa, his last time up, flew out to right field. The first 2 hitters of that second inning were retired for Wareham. All 4 of the runs they scored were with 2 outs. Here comes the 3-2 pitch. It's hit high in the air, foul ground right side. It's going to tail out of play, as Infante kind of gave it a look, but it wound up over by the batting cage out there on the first base side. So we'll do it again with the count 3 balls and 2 strikes on John Topa. Topa, a Cape League All-Star from UConn. One of the better programs that you'll find in the northeastern area of the country. The Huskies keep churning out good teams. Here comes the 3-2 pitch to the righty. It's hit hard into left center field. Costas moves to his left and makes the catch. He was starting off a little bit toward left center, was the Whitecaps left fielder, and so he was where he needed to be. A hard hit baseball for Topa, but he's 0 for 2 now. And now it's Robbie Metz's turn once again. Metz hit a ground ball to shortstop for the second out of the second inning before that rally got going. The utility player from George Washington, he's out in right field for the Gatemen tonight, hitting from the right side against the righty Joe Demers. And here comes the first pitch. In there for a called strike. Nice location on that one at the knees. Mickey Gasper did a good job to just yank that one up into the strike zone. 0-1 now the count on Metz, a rising senior, originally from Podesville, Maryland, and he fouls the 0-1 back, so it's 0-2 now on Metz. Metz coming off a season with the GW Colonials where he hit .339 and was second team All-Atlantic 10 this past spring. As it looks like perhaps a baseball got onto the field from the bullpen. I think that's exactly what happened. As remember, the Whitecaps looked like that Sam Bordner who went out to grab the ball must have just fell off there. The bullpen for the visiting team here at Spillane Field is out over the left field wall, and it's raised above the action. Well, fell down. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. It's up. 1-2 now the count on Robbie Metz. Metz, a returner on this Wareham Gatemen squad, played 38 games for the team last season. The pitch is check swing on a pitch that was low. They appealed over to first base, and he didn't go, so 2-2 is the count on Metz. We're tied at 4, bottom 3. The pitch. Swing and a miss. He got him. Robbie Metz with a big cut at that one, but Joe Demers gets his first strikeout since entering this ball game and his 17th of the year. And now it's Blake Sable's turn.
Yeah, he just blew that one right past him, up in the zone. Didn't necessarily miss location, but that one was right down the heart of the plate. But up in the zone, Metz took a big cut at it with just that velocity from Demers. Got nothing for it, just blew it right past him.
So now here's the lefty swinging Sable. He shows bunt, pulls it back, and takes a called strike anyway. Sable not too thrilled with that call behind the plate, but the count is 0-1 nonetheless. Both teams with 4 runs in the second inning, and that's where we stand, tied at 4, bottom of the third. The 0-1 misses low. That one just skipped in front of Gasper. Was able to pick it up with the glove. Backhanded. 1-1 now the count on Sable. Sable singled his first time up and came around to score the Gatemen's first run of this game. Comes the 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Another one that was just a little bit too fast for him. Maybe got just a little bit of a piece of that when sent it into Gasper's glove. 1-2 the count on Sable. Sable out at first base for the Wareham Gatemen today. Originally from USC. 1-2 pitch. Is hit high in the air into right center field. Moving over is the center fielder Bishop. Now here comes Taylor, the right fielder, and he'll make the catch. And that retires the side. So the Gatemen go down in order in the bottom of the third. We're through 3 innings of play, and we're tied at 4 on the Whitecaps Radio Network.
It'll be the bottom of the Whitecaps order here in the top of the 4th inning. Aiden Doyle alongside Carter Woodeel here on the Whitecaps Radio Network. 4-4 the score here in Wareham as Kyle Datchers digs in, ready to lead things off against Tanner Dodson. Datchers today struck out in his first at-bat. Shows bunt here as the fastball from Dodson catches the inside corner for strike 1. Still drizzling a little bit here at Spillane Field, not quite as hard as it was, as the 0-1 fastball cut on and fouled back there by Datchers. Now 0-2 on the third baseman from North Carolina. Over the left field side here at Spillane Field, the sun is trying to come out a little bit as the 0-2 from Dodson lifted in the air into shallow right field. The right fielder Metz slips and is able to recover in time, gets back up and makes the catch. That one just hung up in the air for a while off the bat of Datcher, so you don't see that very often, where the right fielder slips, falls down, and is still able to make the play.
Yeah, got knocked down and got back up again. Never going to keep him down. A nice play from Metz, and with this turf the way it is, that might not be the only time we see somebody take a tumble.
And what's amazing, Carter, is you make that reference, and tonight is Throwback Thursday night here at Spillane Field.
They played that song a couple of days ago.
They played that song before the game. Well done. I like it. As now A.J. Graffinino steps in, looks at a first pitch fastball from Dodson, then misses high for ball 1. Graffinino today had an RBI single in his first at-bat. That put the Whitecaps up 2-0 as he fouls off a 1-0 fastball over the third base dugout and out of play. Evens the count at 1-1. Graffinino, second-year shortstop out of the University of Washington, going into his junior year for the Huskies. As the 1-1 from Dodson misses down and in. Now 2-1 on Graffinino. Coming into this game, batting .252 on the year. Got off to a great start for Brewster as he lifts this one into the air in the shallow left field. Coming in is the left fielder Topa, and he camps underneath it and puts it away for out number 2.
The first baseman, number 47, Julian Infante.
So with 2 down here in the top of the 4th inning, it'll bring up Julian Infante, first baseman out of Vanderbilt. Another guy who singled in his first at-bat and would eventually come around to score the 4th run of the game for Brewster on the Chandler Taylor RBI double. Infante, right-handed hitting batter against the right-handed throwing Dodson. Dodson through the windup and the first pitch. This one hit on the ground to the right of the first baseman. Sable backhands it on a slide and throws the covering Dodson for out number 3. So a nice play there by Blake Sable at first base for the Gatemen, and another 1-2-3 inning for the Whitecaps. No runs, no hits, no errors, no one left on base. We've played 3.5 here at Spillane Field, and this game still knotted at 4. Back here at Spillane Field in Wareham, and for more on this Whitecaps pitching staff, which has already had to go to its bullpen tonight, we send it to the third member of our crew, Maura Sheridan.
Well, guys, there's some good news for Brewster. As we know, they've had a depleted bullpen, a depleted starting rotation, but they added 3 new players today. They're all here. It's going to be Connor McNamara out of Marist, Troy Miller, who's teammates with Will Tribuker at Michigan, and Zach Schneider, who was at a junior college and will be playing for FAU next year. So that's good news for Jamie Shevchik. He says he expects all of them to come out of the bullpen, but who knows what's going to happen. We may see them starting sometime soon. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Maura. As we move to the bottom of the 4th inning, it's 9-1-2 in the Gatemen order, due up against Joe Demers, Ben Baird, Stephen Kwan, and Kyle Kasser. Ready to face the Washington righty as the first pitch to Baird, a fastball cut on and missed there for strike 1. Baird walked in his first plate appearance and would eventually come around to score on a Kyle Kasser 2-run single. As the 0-1 pitch from Demers, another fastball there, and this one fouled back and over the press box here at Spillane Field, the John H. Wild press box. So 0-2 the score, or 0-2 the count. 4-4 is the score here in the 4th inning in Wareham. Demers through the windup and the 0-2 pitch. Fastball cut on and missed. Got him to chase that one up and out of the zone for out number 1. So Joe Demers picks up his second strikeout, and there's 1 down in the bottom of the 4th.
Been impressed that the first strikeout, if I remember correctly, came on that fastball as well. I've been impressed with how Joe Demers has been using that so far in this ball game. Kind of a staff-wide directive this past couple of weeks from Jamie Shevchik and the rest of the coaching staff to use the fastball a little bit more, and he's doing it there.
That'll bring up the leadoff man for the Gatemen, Stephen Kwan. He's 1 for 1 and also reached on a walk today, as the first pitch from Demers, a fastball that misses high and inside for ball 1. Kwan, one of the Beavers, attends Oregon State University. And the count 1-0, and the pitch from Demers, this one fouled back and out of play. So the count evens out 1-1. Kwan with an infield single in his first at-bat. And like I mentioned, walked his second plate appearance and would come around to score the 3rd run of the game for the Gatemen. As the 1-1 from Demers on its way. This one lined into center field. Moving to his left is Hunter Bishop. He's on the run and he won't get there. He cuts it off though in the gap as Kwan rounds first, heading into second. The throw will be cut off by Nick Dunn as Kwan slides into second base with a 1-out double.
Well, it's tough for Hunter Bishop that he had a terrific base runner like Stephen Kwan running in that instance, because against a lot of the other people on this Gateman team, that would have been a hell of a play to cut that ball off and prevent him from getting extra bases. But Kwan's a good enough base runner to know that he can dig for second either way, and he gets in without a throw heading his way.
And obviously an impressive base runner, but continuing to impress at the plate. Now 2 for 2 with a run scored on the day. And now the number 2 hitter for the Gatemen, Kyle Kasser, digging in. He's 1 for 2 so far in today's contest. As the first pitch from Demers, fastball that misses high above the letters for ball 1. 4-4 the score here at Spillane Field between the Whitecaps and the Gatemen. 1 down in the bottom of the 4th. Runner on second for Wareham. That's Stephen Kwan, who just doubled to right center. As the pitch from Demirs. This one lined right back into right center. Moving to his left is Hunter Bishop. He dives and he won't get there. And that one will roll all the way just shy of the wall. Cut off by Chandler Taylor. They're waving home Stephen Kwan. He will score easily. And Kyle Kasser into second, standing up.
Well, that's a tough play out there for Hunter Bishop. You wonder if maybe the wet grass kind of impacted that dive, because it looked like he may have slipped just a little bit when he was going for it. In any case, he just wasn't kind of have to be 7 feet tall to grab the baseball that he was going for, and the Gatemen, just like that, had taken the lead.
So back-to-back doubles for the Gatemen into the right center field gap. And like you mentioned, Carter, now 5-4, Wareham on top here in the bottom of the 4th inning. And the number 3 hitter, Willie McIver. So a battle of the Huskies here as Joe Demirs out of the University of Washington pitching to a fellow Husky who lifts the first pitch he sees up in the air. This one on the right side of the infield. Nick Dunn calling for it. And he makes the play right on the edge of the outfield grass for out number 2.
The second baseman, number 10, Jaron Duran.
Now the number 4 hitter for the Gatemen, Jaron Duran, digging in. He's 2 for 2 on the day. His big 2-out, 2-run double in the bottom of the second inning tied this game at 4, where the score stayed until Kyle Kasser's RBI double just a couple of plays ago. And now Duran digging in from the left side against the right-handed throwing Demirs as the first pitch. Fastball just misses below the knees for ball 1. Sun really trying to come out here in Wareham. It has gotten a lot lighter. The lights are still on here at Spillane Field and will continue to be on. But overall, not quite as overcast as it was. The darker clouds moving away from us. As this one chopped on the ground towards short. Hop there for Graffinino, throwing to first low, but a nice play by Julian Infante for out number 3. But the Gatemen get a run. It comes on a Kyle Kasser RBI double to right center field. They take a 5-4 lead as we head into the top of the 5th inning here at Spillane Field. You're listening to Brewster Whitecaps Baseball on the Brewster Whitecaps Radio Network. First pitch swinging is Nick Dunn to start things off in the top of the 5th inning as he lines this one into left field. That'll get down for a base hit. So Nick Dunn, 2 for 3 on the day, continues to swing a hot bat. Came into the game with a 12-game hitting streak. Obviously extended that to 13 with a first inning single to start this game off. Came into the game batting .314 on the year. That average only climbing. And now Chandler Taylor, the Brewster right fielder, digs in with the leadoff man aboard. First pitch to Taylor, a breaking ball that misses in the dirt. Good stop there by Willie McIver. And the count now 1-0. Tanner Dodson back out on the mound for the Gatemen. He's gone 2 2/3 so far as Dodson checks on Nick Dunn at first base, dives back safely. Taylor today 1 for 2, had a big 2-run double in the second inning and looks at a fastball down and away for ball 2 from Tanner Dodson. Last time Chandler Taylor was here at Spillane Field, participated in the Cape Cod League Home Run Derby as he lifts this one high in the air out to left field. Going back is John Topa. He's at the track, he's at the wall, and that ball is gone. Chandler Taylor with an opposite field 2-run home run, and just like that, the Whitecaps take a 6-5 lead here at Spillane Field. So you talk about him in the home run derby, and he hits a home run. How about that, Carter?
Well, we're not sitting right behind them, but evidently they can still hear us because that was a home run derby type of blast from Chandler Taylor. Just rocketed that one halfway up that grandstand that they've got over the left field wall. And boy, just what the Whitecaps needed here to turn a deficit into a lead.
That's his 8th home run of the season. Already the team leader with 7. And now Mickey Gasper digs in. So now the Whitecaps retake the lead 6-5 here in Wareham. And they've got Mickey Gasper, another all-star, digging in. Looks at a first pitch fastball from Tanner Dodson, then misses down and in for ball 1. Gasper 0 for 2 today as he chops this one right back to Dodson. Easy ground ball there for the California Golden Bear, who throws over to first base for out number 1. Marty Costas stepping in now for the Brewster Whitecaps. Another guy who's 0 for 2 on the day. Couple of ground outs, one to short, one to first. Bats here with 1 down in the bottom of the 5th inning. And there is a rainbow here at Spillane Field over the right field foul pole. Always nice to see a rainbow at a baseball game. Just very fitting. Everyone's having a good time despite the drizzle that's currently happening as Tanner Dodson misses high and inside. First pitch to Marty Costas. Goes for ball 1. As the 1-0 pitch from Dodson. Big swing there from Marty Costas as he chases one down and in to even the count at 1-1. Righty-righty matchup here between Dodson and Costas. Dodson through the windup and the 1-1 pitch. Fastball misses below the knees. Now 2-1 on the Maryland Terrapin. As Hunter Bishop waits on deck. 6-5 the score here at Spillane Field. Whitecaps lead the Gatemen with 1 out in the top of the 5th inning. As the 2-1 from Dodson. Off-speed pitch there. Misses just below the knees to Costas. And the count now 3-1. There continues to be a bit of a drizzle here in Wareham. But a really, really nice rainbow. As the 3-1 to Costas misses downstairs to appeal down to the first base umpire. Says he did not go, so Costas works the walk, and the Whitecaps have a man aboard with 1 down.
Another walk from Marty Costas. But yeah, when was the last time you saw a rainbow, Aiden? Because I haven't seen one in I don't know how long, and this is a gorgeous one here over right field. I'm sure Mario Photographer is taking advantage.
You would think with all the rain we've had on the Cape so far this summer that we would have had at least one rainbow, but I can't remember one. I mean, I'm sure there's one that I'm forgetting or something, but this one I'll never forget as the first pitch to Hunter Bishop. Fastball that he chases downstairs for strike 1. If those of you listening follow the Whitecaps Twitter account, I'll be sure to tweet out a picture of this rainbow as Dodson checks on Costas at first base, who dives back safely. It really is quite nice, quite thick, as Dodson once again goes back to first base, and Costas once again dives back safely. Really clear, not one of these ones that kind of just blends in. It's pretty bright out there. As an 0-1 fastball from Dodson catches the outside corner, and Hunter Bishop quickly behind 0-2.
Yeah, meanwhile, Bishop doesn't have rainbows in his head at the moment. He was frustrated with that call.
As Dodson once again checks on Costas. Every time Dodson throws over there, the second they call safe and they throw the ball back to Tanner Dodson, Costas immediately just jumps back up, retakes the lead. He's ready to go.
Yeah,
it's the 0-2 pitch. Caught on and missed. Snap throw down to first base is low. Good job there by Blake Sable to knock it down, but Hunter Bishop down swinging for out number 2.
Well, that was a great pitch to retire Hunter Bishop, but I was going to say, I mean, Marty Costas takes the most aggressive leads out of any player on this Whitecaps team. It seems like every time he reaches first base, he gets his uniform dirty, just diving back, diving back, diving back. And to his credit, we haven't seen him get picked off on a play like that this year. He knows how far he can go, and he goes that far.
Now Michael Curry digging in, designated hitter out of the University of Georgia. First pitch from Dodson misses upstairs for ball 1. Curry today 0 for 1, reached on a walk in his first plate appearance, as now looks like there'll be a meeting on the mound. Doesn't appear to be any action in the Gatemen bullpen, but there is action in the Whitecaps bullpen as Sam Bordner, the righty out of Louisville, warming up, which makes sense. Obviously playing this game like you've talked about, Carter, under the belief that this game might not go all 9 innings because of the rain. So with a 1-run lead, you want to go to one of your best bullpens. And look at this. We are seeing the full completion of the rainbow. What a day here at Spillane Field. Not quite all sunshine and rainbows, but all smiles and rainbows right now for Whitecaps fans as they lead this one 6-5.
And I tell you what, that's a good omen for folks who are rooting for 9 innings of baseball today. I mean, I guess the weather is kind of saying, we'll hold off for you. Nothing more beautiful than baseball, but a rainbow comes pretty close.
As Dotson checks on Costas once again, dives back safely. 1-0 the count to Michael Curry. And the pitch. Way out in front of that off-speed pitch was Curry, and the count evens at 1-1. Dotson from the stretch as Curry now calls time. You can't quite see the full arc of the rainbow. You kind of lose it at its apex. But you can see both ends as Dotson once again checks on Costas. 1-1 the count on Michael Curry, 2 outs as he takes a big home run cut at that one, but fouls it back into the backstop. So now 1-2 on the Georgia Bulldog. Six to 5 the score here in Wareham. 1-2 the count on Michael Curry. 2 outs, top of the 5th inning, as now Curry will call time once again. As now Jamie Shevchik yelling out to one of the base umpires saying, "What did you say to him?" As now the home plate umpire coming over to Jamie Shevchik, pointing to someone in the Whitecaps bullpen saying, "You need to be quiet." Shevchik getting angry with one of the base umpires saying, "What did you say to him?" pointing down towards the end of the Whitecaps dugout closest to us. So a short stoppage of play here at Spillane Field, but everyone seems to be ready to get things back going. 1-2 the count. Dodson's pitch. Fastball misses downstairs below the knees, evens the count at 2-2.
Tell you what, that reminds me of the one time that Jamie Shevchik got ejected in this season, and Tommy Weber took the reins, came out, and accused the umpire of baiting his guys. You wonder if that's what's firing up Coach Shevchik here in this instance. It's somebody, as you're mentioning, that's in the dugout that I guess was barking about calls.
Runner goes as the pitch from Dodson misses in the dirt. Good block by McIver, but Marty Costas into second base, and now with 2 outs, the Whitecaps have a runner in scoring position. Full count now on Michael Curry. 2 outs, runner at second. 6-5, the Whitecaps lead here at Spillane Field in the top of the 5th. And the payoff pitch. Breaking ball in the dirt, misses down and away. So Michael Curry reaches for the second time today with the walk. And now runners on first and second for Kyle Datris.
Been quite the inning here for Brewster. This is their 4th base runner now. Another big chance here with 2 outs. We saw the Gatemen take advantage of 2-out opportunities all throughout that second inning to get themselves back into this game. And now a big one here for Brewster. Seems like this is going to be a good day for the hitters.
First pitch to Datris. Fastball misses down below the knees for ball 1. Datris today 0 for 2, struck out in his first at-bat before flying out to right in the top of the 4th inning. As the 1-0 pitch, this one hit sharply on the ground towards third base, fielded over there by Kasser, and he goes to second to get Curry with a force out, so that'll end the top of the 5th inning, but the Whitecaps regain the lead on a 2-run home run off the bat of Chandler Taylor out to left field. After 4.5 innings, they lead this one 6-5. You're listening to Brewster Whitecaps Baseball on the Brewster Whitecaps Radio Network. Moving to the bottom of the 5th inning here at Spillane Field in Wareham. Whitecaps lead this one 6-5. And a new pitcher for the Whitecaps, it's Sam Bordner, the right-hander out of Louisville, one of the Cardinals. He takes over for Joe Demers here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Aiden Doyle alongside Carter Woodiel. And he'll be facing 5, 6, and 7 in the Gatemen order. Jake Anchia leading things off for the Gatemen. Designated hitter today out of Nova Southeastern in Boca Raton, Florida. And the first pitch from Bordner. Fastball misses downstairs for ball 1. Let's take a look at the numbers for Bordner so far this year. Appeared in 6 games, 0-1 on the season, 1.93 ERA, 9 1/3 innings thrown, 10 strikeouts. As he gets Anchia to swing through a high fastball there to even the count at 1-1. Bordner, one of the more imposing figures out on the mound in the Cape League, 6'6", 240 pounds, originally from Baltimore, Ohio. As the 1-1. Fastball kind of check swing there from Anchia, fouls it off over the first base dugout, and the count now 1-2. Bordner looking into his catcher, Gasper. Ahead in the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes through the windup and the pitch. Breaking ball, just got a piece of it there was Anchia, way out in front of that one, but able to foul it off and stay alive. Anchia today 0 for 2, grounded out to third in his first at-bat before popping out to the first baseman Infante to end the 2nd inning. As Bordner ready, and the 1-2 pitch. Fastball just misses inside as Anchia backs out of the way. Evens count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Well, unfortunately, Carter, pretty much all of the rainbow has disappeared. You can kind of see it faintly into the clouds as the 2-2 pitch from Bordner fouled back and out of play.
Easy come, easy go, right?
Yeah.
But it was gorgeous while it was here.
I'd say nice while it lasted. And hey, while it was here, Chandler Taylor gave the Whitecaps a 6-5 lead with a 2-run home run to left. So I'm sure Whitecaps fans not only happy to see a rainbow, but happy that it's bringing them some good luck. As the 2-2 pitch from Bordner. Fastball misses downstairs, now 3-2 on Anchia. Anchia came into the game batting .238 on the season for Wareham. Does have 4 home runs, which leads the team. As he hits this one on the ground, right back to Bordner, who makes a stab, jogs towards first, and underhands it to Infante for out number 1. Nice reaction there by Sam Bordner to make the play for the first out of the inning.
And a good job taking his time, too. Bordner's got a very cool head on the mound in that situation. It's always good for a pitcher to know exactly how much time they've had, which is a lot in that situation when you get a ground ball that hard straight back to you. And Bordner was able to stay cool and underhand the baseball over.
And now John Topa, the left fielder for the Gatemen out of the University of Connecticut, digging in. The number 6 hitter in this Gatemen lineup. And the first pitch he sees from Sam Bordner in there for a strike on the inside corner. Bordner looking into his catcher, Gasper. Righty-righty matchup here between Bordner and Topa. The 0-1 pitch, fastball, blew it right past him for strike 2. To the count, 1 down, bottom of the 5th inning. 6-5 the score. Whitecaps lead here at Spillane Field. And the 0-2 pitch from Sam Bordner. Fastball got him swinging. Chased that one up and out of the zone. So John Topa goes down via the K. And there's 2 down here in the bottom of the 5th.
Yeah, that's not usually Bordner's MO, right, to blow stuff by people there. But he was able to do it with Topa. A nice job of changing speeds and running that one up. And I'm sure Topa is kicking himself in the dugout, thinking that he could have laid that one off.
And now Robbie Metz, the right fielder for the Gatemen today, digging in. Another right-handed batter, 3rd one in a row for Wareham. First pitch from Bordner, a fastball that misses below the knees for ball 1. Home plate umpire here today is Tim Carey, who, as diehard Whitecaps fans might remember, was the umpire who ejected head coach Jamie Shevchik as Bordner misses in the dirt for ball 2. Now 2-0 on Mets. That game against the Orleans Firebirds at Stony Brook Field back on July 20th. As Bordner once again misses downstairs with a fastball, now 3-0. So yeah, Tim Carey and Jamie Shevchik, not exactly the best of friends. 3-0 the count on Robbie Metz. Sam Bordner through the windup and the pitch. Fastball in there at the knees, now 3-1 on the Yukon Husky. Or excuse me, on the George Washington Colonial. Previous batter John Topo was the Yukon Husky. Metz playing his college baseball down there in D.C., the Foggy Bottom neighborhood, as he lifts this one in the air behind home plate and out of play. Now a full count. I personally loved George Washington when I toured it. I know some people disagree over the idea of the city school. They want a campus, which I understand. But I was a big fan when I went, so. Robbie Metz, I liked your school. Payoff pitch from Sam Bordner. Fastball just misses down and in. Sam Bordner wanted the call. Mickey Gasper held out his mitt trying to get the call from Timothy Carey, but he does not as Robert Metz works a 2-out walk.
But now for Bordner, it's about hitting the reset button. That's always tough when you're close to finishing out an inning, especially a 1-2-3 inning, and then just miss on a pitch that I'm sure Sam Bordner would have liked to have gotten the call on. Now his job is to retire Sable and just erase it.
You mentioned Sable. Left-handed hitting first baseman for Wareham. Blake Sable digging in now. 1 for 2 on the day as Bordner checks on Metz at first base, who gets back safely. Mets with a lead, short lead off of first base. 2 outs, bottom of the 5th inning, 6-5 the score. Brewster on top of Wareham. Sable shows bunt, but takes it back as Bordner misses high and outside with the fastball. Count now 2-0, or excuse me, 1-0 as Bordner checked on Metz before. 2 outs, bottom of the 5th inning. Sam Bordner comes set, and the 1-0 pitch. Fastball misses below the knees, now 2-0 on Sable. Sable's struggling a bit in his Cape League season so far. He is 1 for 2 on the day, like I mentioned, but batting 169 coming into the game in 83 at-bats. And the count here 2-0, though, as the pitch from Bordner. This one lifted in the air into shallow left field. Going back as a shortstop, Graffinino. Coming in is Marty Costas, and it's AJ who makes the play over the shoulder for out number 3. So the 2-out walk to Metz. Nothing comes of it as no runs, no hits, no errors, 1 man left on base for the Gatemen in the bottom of the 5th. We're through 5 here at Spillane Field. Whitecaps still lead 6-5. You're listening to the Brewster Whitecaps Radio Network. Back here at Spillane Field for the top of the 6th inning. It sounds like a perfect time to tell you that urgent care is now available at 4 Cape Cod healthcare locations: Hyannis, Falmouth, Sandwich, and Harwich. Open after hours and weekends. Staffed by ER physicians. Expert care when you need it. Learn more at capecodhealth.org/urgent care. 6-5 the score here in Wareham. Whitecaps lead the Gatemen, and a new pitcher for Wareham as we move to the top of the 6th inning. The new arm is Barrett Lowski out of the University of Arkansas. Has appeared in 2 games so far for Wareham and not had much success. Gone just an inning and 2/3 over the span of the 2 appearances. Pitched to a 16.2 ERA, given up 4 runs, 3 of them earned, walked 2 and struck out 1. He'll face 8, 9, and 1 in the Whitecaps order. AJ Graffinino, Julian Infante, and Nick Dunn due up. Whitecaps lead this one 6-5, like I mentioned. They did trail 5-4, but a 2-run home run from Chandler Taylor out to left field changed everything. So Taylor went the opposite way to put the Whitecaps up. That one coming back in the top of the 5th inning just an inning ago. As AJ Graffinino digging in from the left side against the right-handed throwing Lowski. Lowski listed at just 6 feet tall, 180 pounds. Looking into his catcher, Willie McIver. Now holds the set, and the first pitch to Graffinino. Fastball that misses below the knees for ball 1. AJ today 1 for 2, had an RBI single in his first at-bat that gave the Whitecaps a 2-0 lead. Then flew out to left, back in the top of the 4th inning. As the 1-0 pitch on its way, this one skips home, and the count now 2-0 on Graffinino. Lowski, originally from Tulsa, Oklahoma, decided to play his college ball for the Razorbacks. As he looks into McIver, now comes set and the 2-0 pitch. This one finds the zone as the fastball paints the lower part of the strike zone in at the knees. Count now 2-1. 2-1 the count, 6-5 the score here at Spillane Field. Nobody out in the top of the 6th inning. And the pitch to Graffinino lifted in the air out towards left. Lost his footing there for a second as John Topa, but recovers and makes the play for out number 1.
Yeah, I remember saying before it wouldn't be the first time we saw an outfielder slip when we saw Metz take a spill and then recover. That time Topa just kind of stumbling a little bit. But it looks like that's one of those things where it's just going to go both ways. I'm sure all the fans in the stands and both teams are happy that this game is now official tonight. They're not going to lose an off day for Wareham. They don't have any more off days this year. So it was very important to them to get this game in, and they're able to do that. And I'm sure that they'll be happy to deal with a little bit intricacies out in the outfield as long as, of course, nobody gets hurt.
And now the number 9 hitter, Julian Infante, digging in. First pitch swinging, lifts this one in the air into foul territory over on the first base side, giving it a chase is Blake Sable, but it falls out of play. So the count now 0-1 on the Vanderbilt Commodore. Julian today 1 for 2, singled in his first at-bat and would come around to score on Chandler Taylor's 2-run double. Then grounded out to the first baseman Sable in his last at-bat that ended the top of the 4th inning. Righty-righty matchup here between Lowski and Infante. As the 0-1 pitch, big swing there from Infante, but gets nothing, so 0-2 now the count. Now on a fastball from Lowski, down in the zone. Infante just swung right through it. Top of the order, and Nick Dunn waits on deck for the Whitecaps. Lowski shaking off a couple of signs from Willie McIver. Now gets what he wants. And the 0-2 pitch. Breaking ball misses below the knees, now 1-2 on Infante. Infante had a great year for Vanderbilt this year, but came into the game struggling a bit, batting .237 on the season in 17 games for Brewster. Joined the team after participating in the College Home Run Derby back on July 1st. As he breaks his bat here, soft chopper towards second, fielded over there by Duran, throw to first in time for out number 2.
We've seen a couple of broken bat ground balls recently from Infante. I remember yesterday he had his first 2 at-bats, got a piece of the bat when he started things off. So maybe pitchers are just running things in on his hands. Maybe he needs to be a little bit more selective, or maybe it's just chance. It's baseball.
You know something, before the game a lot of the Whitecaps hitters were playing the baseball equivalent of horse or pig from basketball before, waiting to get the signal as to whether or not this game would be played. And Infante was joking with Whitecaps GM Ned Monty that, hey, Ned, you might have to jack up the budget this year with how many bats I've been breaking. As the first pitch from Lowski misses downstairs to Nick Dunn. Every time he hit the ball, it was another Whitecap joking, oh, did you break your bat there? Oh, that one broken? Said he just got a new order of bats coming in. As the 1-0 pitch to Dunn misses inside, now 2-0 on the Maryland Terrapin.
That is one of the unique intricacies of the Cape League, where you'll see a guy, he'll break his bat, he'll get the next guy from the guy in the on-deck circle, folks will be sharing him around. With these non-profit teams, those are prized items.
That they are. And Julian Infante running up the budget for the Brewster Whitecaps. As the 2-0 pitch to Nick Dunn misses downstairs. And the Brewster second baseman now ahead 3-0. Dunn today 2 for 3 with a pair of singles. Came around to score in the 5th inning on Chandler Taylor's home run. Taylor waits on deck for the Whitecaps. As the 3-0 pitch from Lowski. Fastball right on the inner corner. Now the count now 3-1. Dunn was taking all the way there. Lowski ready, and the 3-1 pitch. Fastball in at the knees. Now the count runs full. Full count, 2 outs, top of the 6th inning. Whitecaps on top of the Gatemen 6-5 here at Spillane Field. Barrett Lowski on the mound for the Gatemen, and his payoff pitch misses down below the knee, so Nick Dunn reaches for the 3rd time today. This one on a 2-out walk, and now Chandler Taylor digging in. Already done plenty of damage today for the Whitecaps. 2 for 3, doubled in the 2nd inning, homered in the 5th. A 2-run double and a 2-run home run. He's got 4 RBI on the day, giving him a grand total of 21 on the season. Nick Dunn leading off of first base for the Whitecaps, and the first pitch to Chandler Taylor shows bunt, but takes it back as the pitch from Lowski misses in the dirt for ball 1.
Tell you what, Chandler Taylor's never really bluffing when he shows bunt there. He's got a couple bunt singles this season, and right now the third baseman caster is at traditional depth.
Now comes in a bit, even with the bag, as Taylor looks at a 1-0 fastball from Lowski that skips home, now 2-0 on the University of Alabama product. Chandler, originally from Montgomery, Alabama, decided to head west to Tuscaloosa and play for the Crimson Tide. 2-0 pitch. Big cut there from Chandler Taylor, but swung right through it, and the count now 2-1. Chandler swinging for his 9th home run there. Couldn't quite get a piece of it, though. So 2-1 the count, 2 outs. Top of the 6th inning, as Nick Dunn leads off of first base. Lowski comes set, and the pitch. Breaking ball misses downstairs. Good job there by Chandler Taylor to lay off that one. And a good job by Willie McIver to block it and hold Dunn at first base. Either way, 3-1 the count now to Chandler Taylor. Lowski looking into McIver. Now comes set, and the 3-1 pitch. Taylor chases one downstairs, and the count runs full. Looks like an off-speed pitch there from Lowski. Broke down below the knees. Taylor couldn't quite hold up. So runner will be going on the pitch. Full count, 2 outs, top of the 6th inning, 6-5 the score. Whitecaps on top of the Gatemen. As Barrett Lowski, that pitch lifted high in the air out towards left field. Going back is John Topa towards the line, and he will make the play just shy of the warning track and just in fair territory. So Chandler Taylor keeps on driving the ball out to the left field here at Spillane Field, but nothing there for CT. No runs for the Whitecaps in the top of the 6th. They do get a walk, but he's stranded at first base as we head to the bottom of 6th inning. Brewster leads Wareham 6-5 on the Brewster Whitecaps Radio Network. Visit Stars Restaurant at Chatham Bars Inn Resort and Spa for a world-class dining experience, a proud member of leading hotels of the world. Here in Wareham, as we move to the bottom of the 6th inning, Whitecaps lead the Gatemen 6-5. Sam Bordner back out on the mound for his 2nd inning of work. He'll face 9-1-2 in the Gatemen order. Aiden Doyle alongside Carter Woodeel, as luckily for everyone here in attendance, is certainly the players, the rain has pretty much stopped at this point, although I wish, there is some wood to knock on here in our broadcast position. The original forecast had it pretty solid rain from 6 to 8. It did drizzle and came down a decent amount, but now at 8:22 Eastern time, it appears as though the rain has moved on. First pitch to Ben Baird, fastball that Baird fouls off over the first base side and out of play. So 0-1 the count on the Wareham shortstop, who's 0 for 1 on the day. Did reach on a walk and would come around to score, but then struck out swinging in his second at-bat. As Bordner misses upstairs there with the fastball, now 1-1 on Ben Baird. Righty-righty matchup here, as Bordner threw the windup, and a 1-1 fastball misses down and in for ball 2. Baird, originally from Agora Hills, California, decided to play his college ball at the University of Washington, so teammates with Joe Demers and A.J. Graffinino, as Bordner blows a fastball right by him, and the count evens at 2-2. Baird came into the game batting .148 on the season in 19 games. 8 for his first 54. So 190 on base percentage. And the 2-2 pitch, fastball, blew it right past him up in the zone. So back-to-back high fastballs. Baird swings right through. He goes down swinging for the 2nd time today, as Sam Bordner picks up his 2nd strikeout, and there's 1 down in the bottom of the 6th.
Another high fastball, too. I mean, Sam Bordner's been using that as a big weapon so far in this ball game, doing a lot better than he did the first time he was out here at Spillane Field in Wareham.
And now the leadoff man, Stephen Kwan, digging in for the Gatemen. Center fielder out of Oregon State. Looks at a first pitch fastball from Bordner that misses off the plate for ball 1. Kwan today really been a thorn in the side of the Whitecaps. 2 for 2 with a walk, as he's now ahead in the count. 2 balls and no strikes as Bordner misses high and outside. He scored 2 runs on the day. Singled in the first inning, then walked in the second before doubling in the 4th. As the 2-0 pitch from Bordner misses outside. Now 3-0 on the Wareham leadoff hitter. Bordner looking into his catcher, Mickey Gasper. 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Whitecaps lead 6-5 over the Gatemen. And the 3-0 pitch from Bordner. Fastball just misses off the plate, and Stephen Kwan reaches base for the 4th time today. He heads on down to first with a 1-out walk.
Love the way you phrased that, Aiden. The thorn in the side, indeed. He's just been so tough to put away for Brewster in this ball game. And now he's somebody that's going to have to take part of Sam Bordner's attention as he takes his lead off of first base.
And now the number 2 hitter, Kyle Kasser, digging in from the left side. As, well, I guess me knocking on wood didn't do anything, as the rain has begun to fall again here at Spillane Field. I apologize to everyone for jinxing it. As the first pitch to Kasser hit on the ground toward short, fielded by Graffinino, out at second, throw on to first in time. So 6-4-3 double play. And just like that, Stephen Kwan's 1-out walk is erased, and that ends the inning. So no runs on no hits, no errors, no one left on base for the Gatemen in the bottom of the 6th. As we head to the top of the 7th, Whitecaps still lead this one 6-5 here at Spillane Field.
We welcome you back to Spillane Field in Wareham. Carter Woodell, Aiden Doyle with you. The Whitecaps trailing in this ball game. The Whitecaps ahead in this ball game 6-5. Starting off the top of the 7th inning here at a increasingly soggy Spillane Field. Brewster ahead 6-5 as Mickey Gasper will dig in for the Whitecaps. It'll be Gasper, Costas, and Bishop. Those are the 3-4-5 hitters for Brewster against Lowski, who remains on the mound for the Gatemen. Gasper hitting from the left side. The pitch to the switch hitter is in there for a called strike at the knees to make the count 0-1. This rain is coming down, perhaps harder than we've had this entire game. It's been kind of a steady drizzle throughout this ball game. Then the sun peaked in for a couple of frames, and now it's back to rain. The 0-1 pitch misses outside. It's been a touch-and-go game for both teams on the diamond as well. They both scored 4 in the 2nd inning. Brewster jumped out to a 4-0 lead, and Wareham tied the game in the bottom half. The 1-1 pitch to Gasper just misses low. So 2-1 now the count on Mickey. Wareham would take the lead in the bottom of the 4th inning. They got a run across on a ribby double from Kyle Kasser, but then a 2-run homer from Taylor for Brewster made it 6-5 Caps. Gasper takes a 2-1 pitch low in the dirt, so it's 3-1 now on Mickey, who has yet to reach base tonight. He's 0-for-3, grounded out his first time right back to the pitcher. Waiting on a 3-1, here it comes. It misses upstairs for ball 4, so a trademark walk for Mickey Gasper as he will reach base to start off this 7th inning. For Gasper, that's walk number 27 on the season. That is the most on this Whitecaps team, which is saying something. This team walks a lot, more than anybody else in the Cape League. They came into this game with 168 free passes as a team. Now it's Marty Casas' turn. The Maryland Terrapin walked his last time up. Speaking of walks, he comes on with a runner on first base and nobody out. The Whitecaps ahead 6-5. Top of the 7th. The first pitch to Costas misses inside. The count is 1-0. Looked like the catcher, William McIver, was looking for something down and away. Moved the glove across to grab it. Left hand is the glove hand for the righty McIver. 1-0 is the count on Marty. Lowski holds the set. Waits for a while. And now time is called by Costas in the batter's box. Thought he was waiting too long. This infield at Spillane Field, we talk about it every time we're here. It's gravel, it's not dirt, which makes it kind of unusual among the Cape League ballparks. And tonight it's really showing itself. The 1-0 pitch runs up and hits Marty Costas on the hand. His left hand got hit by that pitch. He's wincing and moving outside of the circle here and bending over to address it. Taking a deep breath now, and we'll see if he can get over to first base. Costas, remember, was hit by a pitch in yesterday's game as well. In that game against Chatham, was hit by a pitch in the 2nd inning, wound up being replaced after one more at-bat by Devin Foyle out in left field. And it looks like one of the members of the Brewster athletic training staff is out to examine Costas' left hand. He's gesturing toward it. Jamie Shevchik is out there as well. And they're taking a look, I guess, to see if Costas can go. And you hate to see that. It's always tough when you see a baseball come in and run in on the hands of a hitter. Costas still talking with the athletic training staff. I was talking about the infield before here at Wareham. Usually the color of this gravel infield, it looks kind of like the core of a pencil. That's sort of like dark gray. And here, with the rain coming in and the wet weather, it really looks more like a black asphalt driveway. It looks darker in color. Good news here for the Whitecaps as Costas is going to dig back in. I guess they ruled that he went around when he was swinging at that, or that it caught part of the baseball bat and went foul. Either way, it's not a hit by pitch legally. So here's the 1-1 pitch to Costas, and he swings and misses. Took a big rip at that one, did Marty Costas, not appearing to be hindered in any way there, but came up empty, and the count is 1-2. Costas is 0-for-2 with that walk that I previously mentioned so far today. Gasper is aboard first base. We're in the top of the 7th inning, and the Whitecaps lead 6-5 here in Wareham. The 1-2 pitch to Costas is up high, so 2-2 now the count on Marty Costas. It's very impressive how Marty Costas has adjusted his approach at the plate this season. Was coming into this team as a reputation for a guy who was a really free swinger, had a ton of bat speed. Here comes the 2-2. It's hit high in the air to left field, left center, heading into the gap, and that one is going to get down for a base hit into the deepest part of the ballpark, rolling all the way to the wall in left center field. Gasper is motoring around third base. He's going to come in and score. Costas is heading into third. He slides in head first, safe with a triple. An RBI triple for Marty Costas. What an at-bat for him. He's able to bounce back and lace that one over to left center field, and the Whitecaps double their lead. It's now 7-5 Brewster here in the seventh. A terrific piece of hitting there from Marty Costas. I was talking right before he whacked it about his bat speed, showed it off there. It's very deep out there to left center field here in Wareham. It's 412 to dead center, and it's even deeper out to left center field. And Costas taking full advantage with that triple. And the Whitecaps now lead 7-5 on the three-bagger from Marty Costas. That's his first triple of the season, just the fourth for the Whitecaps as a team so far this year. Here's Hunter Bishop, and the pitch to the lefty is cut on and missed on a pitch that was low. So the count 0-1 now on the ASU Sun Devil. Bishop is 0 for 2, but does have a walk and a run scored today as the Gatemen move their infield in with the runner on third base and nobody out. It's 7-5 Whitecaps in the seventh. The pitch to Bishop is swung on a high chopper right side. Leaping is the first baseman, Sable. He comes down with it and will go to first base to step on the bag for the out. A terrific play from Sable to leap up and grab that baseball and then stare down Marty Costas over at third and prevent that run from coming in. So that's out number one here in the top of the seventh inning. And now it's Michael Curry's turn. A very nice 3 unassisted play there from Sable at first base. Curry so far today has a pair of walks. That bookend a ground ball. He scored in that 4-run second for the Whitecaps. The pitch to the righty hitter is fouled back to the screen. Another big rip. That one from Curry, as he really went after that one, but just got a piece and doinked it right back over toward the window of the press box, immediately behind home plate here at Spillane Field. So the count's 0-1 on Curry. The infield remains in with a runner on third base, Costas, and one man out. Here comes the 0-1 offering. It skips in front of the catcher MacGyver, and he blocks it, so no advance. 1-1 now the count on Michael Curry. It's 7-5 Whitecaps. We're here in the top of the seventh inning of an eventful ball game here at Spillane Field. For the fans who turned out in the rainy weather to come out and see it, it's been a terrific game. 1-1 is the count. The pitch to Curry is cut on and missed. That was a fastball up above the zone, and Curry again took a big hack, but came up with nothing to show for it, so Curry is now behind in the count. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The Whitecaps have lost their last 2 games against the Gatemen. They're trying to salvage a split in the season series here tonight. They're 0-1 here at Spillane Field. That was a 2-1 defeat the last time they were here, in a very different game from this one. The 1-2 pitch to Curry is off the plate outside. So it's 2-2 now on Curry. Did a nice job kind of holding up. You could tell he had that big leg kick there. And Curry's always a player who's itching to get the bat on the ball and hit the ball hard, but laying that one off. 2-2 is the count. Staring in his low ski, he shakes off a sign from MacGyver, now gets the one he likes and comes set. The 2-2 pitch just misses low, and the count is full. Lowski wanted that call. He took a couple of steps in front of the pitcher's mound, kind of gave a look to Timothy Carey behind the plate, the umpire. But no dice, so the count is full with 1 man out. Lowski staring in again, now comes set, ready to deal 3-2 to Curry, the pitch. Misses low for ball 4. A terrific at-bat for Michael Curry. Was fooled big time by 2 pitches, but was able to rally back and draw what is his third walk of this ball game. And now Kyle Datris will step up to the plate with runners on the corners and 1 out for Brewster. And now I'm sure Lowski is thinking, can I get a double play ball here? The corners are in, as they can be for the Gatemen. The first baseman, Sable, is holding on the runner Curry, but the third baseman, Kasser, is in, and now the middle infielders are back, anticipating a possible twin killing with 1 man out and the runners on the corners. The pitch to Datris misses low, so 1-0 now the count on the UNC Tar Heel. Datris is 0 for 3 today, heading to a fielder's choice to end that 2-run 5th inning for Brewster. His last time up. 1-0 now the count. It's Costas at third and Curry at first base. The Whitecaps lead 7-5 in the 7th. The pitch shows bunt, takes it outside. after pulling the baseball bat back. So ahead in the count now, 2-0 is Datrus. That sent the third baseman Castor kind of scrambling through to the infield grass, but no bunt was laid, so 2-0 is the count on Kyle Datrus. Loski staring in. Been a bit of a lengthy frame for the Arkansas Razorback. Now he holds the set after getting the sign from MacIver. Here comes the 2-0 pitch. Shows bunt again and takes it low again. So the count is 3-0 now on Kyle Datrus. And you wonder if now he'll go just from the bunt sign to the take sign here. Ahead in the count, 3-0. One run already in this frame for the Whitecaps on a ribby triple from Marty Costas. The 3-0 pitch is in there for a called strike. Sure did look like Datrus was taken all the way there. So the count is 3 balls and 1 strike on Datrus. Loski still staring in as he and MacIver have he's been shaking off a few signs here, but now gets the one that he likes. 3-1 pitch. Shows bunt again, takes it low again. Another walk in this frame for Loski. That's the third that he has surrendered here in the top of the 7th, and it loads the bases for the Whitecaps with just 1 man out.
And that's really been the problem for all the pitchers who have kind of lacked success in today's game. It's been the control of their pitches. They've been walking a lot of batters. We saw Paulie Milto hit a guy, so it's been that control. It's not necessarily been, with the exception of maybe Chandler Taylor, people squaring them up. It's been allowing base runners to get on via free passes.
Another meeting at the mound here, and it looks like the day is done for Loski. He is being called for a fresh right-handed arm for Wareham. We'll give you a little bit more info about that on the other side of this break. It's 7-5 Brewster with 1 run in for the Whitecaps here in the 7th frame. We'll be back after this. You're listening to Brewster Whitecaps Baseball on the Whitecaps Radio Network. We welcome you back to Spillane Field here in Wareham. Carter Waddell, Aiden Doyle here with you in the top of the 7th inning. Whitecaps ahead 7-5. The new pitcher is Aaron Hernandez from Texas A&M Corpus Christi, making his 4th appearance in Cape League play this year. No earned runs allowed for him so far. And Timothy Carey, the home plate umpire, will jog out and have a talk with him handing the baseball. It looks like Hernandez is gesturing to a part of the grass immediately behind the pitcher's mound. And I guess something was left over there that Tim Carey has retrieved. Maybe something from a player's cleat when he was digging something out. In any case, with this wet turf, stuff can kind of get embedded in there. But it looks like that has been resolved. It's A.J. Graffinino leading things off for Aaron Hernandez's day for Brewster. Hernandez this year, 3 1/3 innings pitched, 4 hits allowed, 1 walk, and 3 strikeouts. The Whitecaps at the bases jammed. Costas is on third. It's Curry on second, and Datris on first base with 1 out. The pitch to the lefty, Graffinino, is in there for a strike. Want to correct myself here. It looks like we have a pinch runner at second, as Malfetta has replaced Curry out there. It's definitely some more speed for Brewster. And we have seen plenty of reps from Malfetta in the DH spot this season. He's one of those guys like Devin Foyle that Jamie Shevchik has liked to work in. The 0-1 pitch misses outside to make the count 1 ball and 1 strike on A.J. Graffinino. So far for Graffinino today, does have a ribby single to his name. That came in that 4-run second inning for Brewster. And 2 fly balls to left field since then. Bases full of Whitecaps. 1-1 the count. Hernandez comes set. Here comes the pitch. It's hit high in the air, foul ground, left side. It will tail out of play and over the bleachers on the left side here at Spillane Field. So 1-2 is the count. So it's Costas on third, Malfetta is on second, and Datris is on first base. For the Whitecaps, the corners are in for the Gatemen. But with 1 man out, Wareham definitely looking for a double play ball here. 1-2 the count on A.J. Graffinino, who asked for some time and now digs back in. And Tim Carey signals that we can resume some play here. Hernandez is ready. He's holding the set. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Foul back to the screen. Just barely got a piece of that one, did Graffinino. Sent it straight back behind him. So it's 1-2, still the count on A.J. Graffinino. And Hernandez will rub that baseball up when he gets it back. The rain has subsided here. It's back to being dry, but still wet everywhere on the field. And with that baseball, makes it tough for a pitcher. Hernandez staring in, getting the sign from his catcher, Willie McIver. Now comes set. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. It's fouled away toward the left side, over toward the Brewster dugout on the third base side here in Wareham. So we'll do it again. Count is 1-2. Hernandez, when he comes set, keeps the glove in motion, kind of keeps flapping the outer edge of that glove, never quite standing still, is the man from Texas A&M Corpus Christi on the mound. He takes a deep breath and now is ready to get the sign, but he'll have to wait for Graffinino to dig back in, and he does. Now Hernandez, well, Graffinino's going to call time again, and he's really trying to get his footing here in that home plate circle. We talked about the gravel infield here at Spillane Field. The circle around home plate and the pitcher's mound are more traditional dirt, and that's what Graffinino's digging into. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Misses away, so 2 balls, 2 strikes now the count on A.J. Graffinino. Aaron Hernandez, a relatively recent addition to this Wareham Gatemen pitching staff. We've talked about how one of the things that these two teams have in common is that they've been going through a lot of pitchers, especially later on in this season. Hernandez staring in, shakes off one sign from McIver. Now gets the one that he likes. But ready to deal 2-2 to A.J. Graffinino. Here it comes. It's hit high in the air. Shallow right center field. Coming in as the right fielder, Metz, and he will make the catch moving to his right. Costas is tagging from third base. Here comes the throw to the plate, and it's offline. Costas scores. It's a sac fly and an RBI for A.J. Graffinino, his second ribby of the day and his 13th of the season, and the Whitecaps now lead 8-5.
Off the bat, I wasn't sure if that was going to be deep enough to score Costas from third base, but Costas has good speed, and the throw from Metz out in right field, like you mentioned, Carter, was a little offline. So again, these are these precious insurance runs that in a big game coming down the final stretch, now the difference between a 2-run lead and a 3-run lead is huge.
Tell you what, that sure was impressive for Costas to go right away on that pitch, and made it in pretty shallow right center field, did Metz, making the catch. But Costas coming in to score. So it's 8-5 Brewster. Here in the top of the 7th inning, the 9-hitter Infante digs in from the right side. The first pitch to him misses low. Nice shot to glove that by McIver. Right against the dirt. 1-0 is the count on Infante. Infante is 1-for-3 today. Singled in the 2nd inning and later scored. Also got robbed of a hit by a nice play by the first baseman Sable, his 2nd time up in this game in the 4th. 1-0 the count. Here's the pitch to Infante. Swing and a miss. Really took a rip at that one. But it was too fast for him as he just was looking over toward that left field line where it's 315 out there to left field. Probably if you're going to shoot for anything in this admittedly spacious ballpark, that's where you want to pull it, over where the Brewster bullpen is out there. 1-1 is the count. Been a lengthy top of the 7th inning here at Spillane Field. First and second for the Whitecaps with 2 men gone. Hernandez holds the set. Here comes the pitch. Swing and a miss. Just golfed at that one, did Infante on a pitch in the dirt. So it's 1-2. 2 big hacks from Julian in this at-bat on back-to-back offerings from Aaron Hernandez. And he's behind in the count now, 1 ball and 2 strikes. This has been so much more of an offensive game than what we saw the last time we were here for a Whitecaps Gatemen game at Spillane Field. That was a 2-1 win for Wareham. They just barely were able to eke it out with a couple of runs in the 7th inning. 1-2 is the count. Here comes the pitch to Infante. In there, called strike 3. The knees, and the inning is over. A terrific pitch there from Aaron Hernandez to get Infante to strike out for the first time in this ball game tonight. But the Whitecaps make their mark on this inning. They score 2 runs on just 1 hit, the triple from Costas, and they leave 2 runners on. At the end of 6.5, it's time to stretch here at Spillane Field. The Whitecaps lead 8-5. You're listening to Brewster Whitecaps Baseball on the Whitecaps Radio Network. We welcome you back to Spillane Field. Carter Wadil and Aiden Doyle here with you. And there's a new face on the mound for the Whitecaps. Not just new to this ball game, but new to a Whitecaps uniform this season. It's Zach Schneider, who is going to be playing at Florida Atlantic next season. Part of a junior college squad, Polk State College to be exact, this past season. Making his first appearance for Brewster. I mentioned in the previous frame about how there have been a lot of pitchers coming and going. It hasn't just been a problem for the Whitecaps, but they have been hit particularly hard. Robert Broom, Davis Daniel, Stephen Jones, and Ryan Avadano all leaving the team for various reasons since the All-Star game just 5 days ago. And in fact, as a whole for the league, 12 players have been released from their teams since the end of that All-Star game. From then till yesterday, it's only been 4 days. Most of those guys have been pitchers, so certainly a lot of turnover at this point in the season, and for a lot of different reasons. But Zach Schneider will be taking over the pitching duties for Brewster. The Whitecaps are ahead in this ball game. It's 8-5, and we're in the bottom of the 7th inning. They're playing Thank God I'm a Country Boy, as is tradition here at Spillane Field after the 7th inning stretch. If you want some numbers on Schneider, he had a 1.14 ERA at the Polk State College last season. Made 28 appearances, which led his team out of the pen. No starts, and had 11 saves, which is also the first on his team. He was part of a terrific staff at Polk State. They led all junior colleges in ERA with a 2.54 earned run average. It'll be McIver, Jaron Duran, and Jake Anchia, the 3, 4, and 5 hitters for Wareham, due up against the righty Schneider, who is a sidearm pitcher. Here's the pitch to the righty McIver, and he swings and misses at the first offering to make the count 0-1. McIver's a righty, Duran is a lefty, and Anchia is a righty due up for Wareham. Obviously, with a righty sidearmer on the mound, that's something that means maybe a little bit more than it typically would. It's so hard to see a sidearm pitch that's coming from the same hand that you are. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. It's hit high in the air into shallow right center field. Coming in is the center fielder Bishop, moving to his left, and he makes the catch for out number 1. So MacGyver just kind of got underneath that baseball a little bit, and that's the first out of the bottom of the 7th inning.
Yeah, it seemed like Schneider left that one up in the zone a little bit, but again, you mentioned MacGyver underneath it. And again, it's his first appearance in the Cape League. You can't expect him to be perfect, but again, as long as you get those outs, when you make those mistakes, nothing comes back to bite you.
So here is Jaron Duran. He has had a good game so far today. He is 2 for 3 with a 2-run double. That came in the 2nd inning where Wareham scored 4 runs to counter the 4 that Brewster scored on the top of that frame. It's now 8-5 Whitecaps in the bottom of the 7th. The pitch shows bunt. Takes a pitch just off the plate outside, so it's 1-0 now on Duran. Duran is wearing that black face guard across the right side of his face, hitting from the left side, and there's a story behind that. He got hit back in March with a pitch, broke a couple of bones in his face, and then was right back in action the next week. That's the kind of player that he is. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. It misses down and away. Duran is a guy who's been kind of grinding his whole life. He didn't get any scholarship offers when he was a high schooler, coming out of high school, but wound up working his way onto Long Beach State and had a terrific year at 308 this past spring for them. Stole 19 bases. The 2-0 pitch just misses outside, so it's 3-0 now on Duran. A couple of close calls on the outer edge to the lefty hitter, but Timothy Carey has yet to call strike so far. 3-0 now the count. Schneider staring in, gets the sign that he likes from the catcher Mickey Gasper. And here comes the 3-0 pitch. That 2 misses just a bit low, so a 4-pitch walk. A nice eye at the plate from Jaron Duran. He reaches for the 3rd time in this ball game.
And there's Zach Schneider signaling down to home plate umpire Tim Carey, asking, that those pitches were down. He said, yep, just below the knees. And it seems as though, Robert Broom being released, I guess this team has to have one sidearm or submarine guy on its roster at all times. Broom leaves, Schneider comes in. Got to keep that status quo.
So here's Jake Anchia, the righty out of Nova Southeastern. He's 0 for 3 today. The pitch is in there for a called strike, up at the letters to Anchia. And I tell you what, the sidearm isn't the only thing that kind of sets Schneider's delivery apart. When he comes set, he kind of waggles his glove and his bare hand in it with a concerted effort, kind of just up and down before he delivers. 0-1 is the count. Here comes the pitch. Swing and a miss. Way out in front of that one was Jake Anchia. Schneider pulling the string with success. 0-2 is the count on Anchia. Anchia, a Nova Southeastern Shark. That's a D2 school. Had a terrific year for them this past spring at 326. 0-2 pitch on the way. Just misses outside. So 1-2 now the count on Anchia. Anchia probably blends in pretty well here in the state of Massachusetts, a Red Sox fan growing up, despite the fact that he's from Miami Lakes, Florida originally. 1-2 is the count. Runner on first base, 1 out. Whitecaps ahead 8-5. The pitch is a chopper, a slow one in front of the mound. Gasper's going to run over and field it with the bare hand. He throws to first in time for the out. A terrific play from Mickey Gasper. That was kind of in no man's land out between the pitcher's mound and home plate, and Gasper barehanded it and fired the throw over to Infante at first base. And she is now 0 for 4. Duran, though, does move over to second base, so it's a runner in scoring position and 2 out for Topa.
You mentioned it, Carter. Nice play there by Gasper, especially with this wet grass, not only to just field the ball and make the play, which would be difficult enough on a normal weather day when everything's dry, but you add in the wet weather, the wet grass, maybe not the best grip on the ball, and that play becomes even more difficult.
So it is Topa's turn. Topa, like Anchia, is hitless today, 0 for 3. Here comes the pitch, and it misses inside from Schneider, so the count is 1-0. Topa struck out his last time on a Sam Bordner fastball. Bordner went 2 innings in this ball game, did not give up a hit, did give up a pair of walks, and struck out 2. No runs allowed for Bordner in this appearance. 1-0 is the count. And here comes the pitch to the right-hander. An off-speed pitch that misses outside, so 2-0 now the count. As Schneider here making his first appearance on the Cape. Control not as sharp as perhaps he would like early on. He nods, gets the sign that he likes from Mickey Gasper, takes a deep breath, and now comes to that waggling set. Here comes the 2-0 pitch. Swing and a miss. That was a perfectly located pitch. Down maybe just below the knees, and Topa just swung right over the thing. Counts 2-1 now on Topa. Topa, the man out of UConn, spent a lot of time at DH for the Huskies this past spring, was nursing a shoulder injury. 2-1 pitch is hit a high chopper toward the left side. Graffinino runs up to field it. He throws to first base in time for the out. A nice job by A.J. Graffinino. Charged that baseball. Only let it take one hop on this notorious infield. And it's a 6-3 putout to finish things in the bottom of the 7th inning. So no runs in this frame for Wareham. They get the walk, but Duran is stranded aboard second base. At the end of 7 innings of play, the Whitecaps lead 8-5. You're listening to Brewster Whitecaps Baseball on the Whitecaps Radio Network. Back at Spillane Field, Carter Woodell and Aiden Doyle here with you. The weather is held up. It's nice and dry once again. And at the top of the Brewster order against Aaron Hernandez in the top of the 8th. The Whitecaps are protecting an 8-5 lead. If they win and Harwich loses tonight, they get a playoff spot for sure. And Harwich is trailing Bourne right now 3-1 in the bottom of inning number 7. The first pitch to the lefty swinging Nick Dunn misses inside from Aaron Hernandez. So the count is 1-0. Dunn so far has had another terrific game. He's been so consistent for the Whitecaps this season, 13 games with a hit in a row. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. It's hit high in the air into center field. Moving back is the center fielder, Stephen Kwan. He's camping underneath it, and he makes the catch for out number 1. That was a sky-high fly ball from Nick Dunn, but there's a lot of room out there in center field at Spillane Field, so Kwan was able to put it away with ease, and that's the first out of the 8th.
Yeah, Dunn gave that one a ride, but just to, like you mentioned, Carter, a very deep ballpark. You go to a field like Red Wilson Field in Yarmouth, that's a home run, but gave it a ride. Kwan, a good defensive center fielder, got a good read on it, and was there to make the play for out number 1.
Hernandez picking the clay out from his spikes with a little instrument there as he gets ready to face Chandler Taylor. Taylor has 4 ribbies on this ball game. He doubled home 2 in the 2nd inning and hit a 2-run dinger in the 5th. The pitch misses up high, so it's 1-0 now on Chandler Taylor. RBI total now all the way up to 21 on the season for the man from Alabama. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. It misses down and in. So the count 2-0. Whitecaps ahead 8-5 here in the top of the 8th inning. With this weather coming in, we were wondering if we were maybe even going to make it 5, and it looks like we're going to get the full 9 tonight. Knock on wood. Here comes the 2-0 pitch. Swing and a miss. Blew it by him. And the count is 2-1. Not the first time we've seen Chandler Taylor get fooled by a fastball, but that was a terrific pitch from Hernandez. Taylor, never a guy who hesitates about giving a big swing on the baseball. We've seen today that when he makes contact, he can drive it a long way. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. Another fastball. This one just misses. So 3-1 is now the count on Taylor. That will be interesting to see where Hernandez goes with this next offering. With the count 3-1, here comes the pitch. He's working quickly. And that one misses low. So Chandler Taylor took one big swing and a miss, but the rest he took for balls, and he reaches with a walk to bring up Mickey Gasper. That is the first walk that Aaron Hernandez has allowed. That's the fourth batter that he's faced. The first time he's allowed a base runner. Did give up a sacrifice fly from Graffinino in the 7th inning. That made it an 8-5 game in favor of Brewster, which is where we stand right now. Mickey Gasper walked to lead off that 7th inning. Funny how it always starts with a leadoff walk. That's the only time that he's reached base in this ballgame. He did score on that Marty Costas ribby triple right after that. The pitch to Gasper misses inside to the switch hitter batting from the left side. He's been there all day. We've seen 4 pitchers from Wareham so far in this ball game, and they've all been righties. Waiting on a 1-0 pitch now, shaking off a couple of signs is Hernandez, but now he gets the one he likes from MacGyver, the catcher. Here comes the 1-0. It's grooved in there for strike number 1. MacGyver with a little nod to his pitcher, saying that's right where he wanted it. 1-1 the count. Brewster ahead 8-5, top of the 8th inning. Looking to tack on a couple more insurance runs. Been a well-played game from both sides. The pitchers kind of have struggled with the wet conditions. One of the reasons why there's so many runs on the board. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. The count is 1-2. Another fastball there from Hernandez. He has shown that he can reach back when he needs to. Might have to do it one more time here against Gasper with the count 1-2. This is a situation that never phases Mickey Gasper. So good at just fouling off tough pitches and lengthening at bats, even when he's behind in the count like he is right now. 1-2 pitch. Foul back to the screen. And again, that was a terrific pitch, it looked like, from Hernandez. Another heater, and Gasper just kind of stuck the barrel of the bat out there and doinked it just out of the reach of MacGyver, who nearly caught that for a foul tip, but it went back to the backstop, so the count holds 1-2. Chandler Taylor is on first base for the Whitecaps after reaching via the walk. 1 man out. Staring in again is Hernandez. Another shake off of a sign, now nods and holds the set. Here comes the 1-2 offering to Gasper. It's cut on and missed for strike 3. Pulled the string. Nice little nod from MacGyver, the catcher. You wonder if it was Hernandez when he shook off that sign. He was saying, no, let me go off speed, and Gasper was not ready for it. The second strikeout for Hernandez in 5 hitters that he has faced, and now it's Costas' turn.
Nice pitch there from Hernandez. You mentioned the off-speed pitch down and away to Gasper, who's such a good hitter, such a disciplined hitter, but even he looked like he was fooled a bit there. Maybe expecting a fastball, just a bit out in front of that one, just gave it a bit of a wave and went down swinging.
The pitch to the righty, Costas, is taken for a strike to make the count 0-1. Costas, his last time up, had one of the most exciting plays in baseball, the ribby triple. Just whacked one into the left center field gap where it is very deep out there here at Spillane Field. It rolled all the way to the wall and drove Gasper in easily and slid into third with his first triple of the season. Waiting on an 0-1, here it comes. It's at high in the air, foul ground behind the plate. It will head over the bleachers, over everything, and out into the parking lot out there. The Whitecaps lead 8-5. We're in the top of inning number 8 here at Spillane Field in Wareham. And Costas will take a moment and dig back in. It seems like the infield dirt around the home plate area has held up pretty well considering the wet weather that we've had. 0-2 is the count with 2 men out. Taylor is running, and they haven't picked off. They're going to throw down to second base, and he tags him out. Does the second baseman, Duran, and that retires the side. A strange way for it to go. It looked like Taylor was going on first move there, and the first move was not a move to the plate, and he was hung out to dry, caught stealing second base. That's the second time all season that Taylor's been caught stealing, and that ends things here in the top of the 8th. For the Whitecaps, no runs, no hits, nobody left on, nothing across because Taylor walked and then was canceled out. We're through 7.5 innings of play here at Spillane Field, and the Whitecaps are ahead 8-5. You're listening to Brewster Whitecaps Baseball on the Whitecaps Radio Network. It'll be the bottom third of the Wareham order due up in the bottom of the 8th. The Gatemen trying to come back from an 8-5 deficit here at Spillane Field. Carter Woodeel and Aiden Doyle here with you. The bottom third, more specifically, is Metz, Sable, and Baird due up for Wareham. And the man from GW, Robbie Metz, will start things off. Schneider is still on the mound for the Whitecaps, making his first appearance in a Brewster uniform. Worked a clean 7th inning, just gave up the 1 walk and left that runner stranded. So the side armor will dig back in. He'll face another righty-lefty-righty trio due up. The pitch to Metz is a ground ball foul left side. That will head out of play. Metz so far today, he walked his last time up. That's the only time he's reached. He also has a ground ball and a strikeout to his name. Count is 0-1. We've seen a total of 8 pitchers in this ballgame, 4 on each side. Zach Schneider, the 4th for Brewster. You have to imagine they'd like to see him slam the door here. The 0-1 pitch is lifted high in the air, shallow, and in fact in the right side of the infield, and Nick Dunn will catch that looper for out number 1. That one just hung right up there, and Nick Dunn put it away. So that's out number 1 of the bottom of the 8th. And now Blake Sable will dig in. The man from Southern Cal. Sable so far today has a single and a run scored. That was in the 2nd, and since then he is hitless, so 1 for 3 total for him. He hit a pop fly to the shortstop Graffinino his last time up. Here comes the first pitch from Schneider, and it's bunted foul behind the plate. Gasper came up with it and was ready to throw to first, but it was clearly a foul ball. And so it will be an 0-1 count on Blake Sable to start things off. Sable is another guy who can kind of play at a few different positions. He's played a lot of first base for the Gatemen this year. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. It skips in front of Gasper in the dirt, so that makes the count 1 ball and 1 strike. He was primarily a DH this past spring at USC, but he can play first, he can play catcher, he can also play in the outfield. Always so important, especially in a team like this, in this environment when the rosters are changing, to have guys who can be versatile like that. 1-1 pitch coming. It misses outside on a fastball offering there from Schneider. So the count's 2-1. The Whitecaps are ahead 8-5. We're in the bottom of inning number 8 here in Wareham. Nobody on and 1 man out, and time is called right before Schneider was ready to get into his delivery. It is a little bit tougher with Schneider to tell when he's about to pitch because he has that. Again, he takes the bare hand, he puts it in the glove with the baseball, moves the baseball around and kind of bobs it above his head, and then comes set. The 2-1 pitch misses outside, so it's 3-1. Gasper giving a motion to Schneider to kind of keep the baseball down next time. 3-1 the count on Blake Sable. Could be a big night here in Brewster. Started off wet, started off with wondering if we were even going to get the game in today, and it could end with the Whitecaps securing a playoff spot, depending on how the Mariners-Braves game goes. The 3-1 pitch misses way outside, gets back to the backstop for ball 4. Sable's heading into first base. He takes a wide turn, but that's all he'll get. Nice presence of mind there for Sable to know the pitch had gotten away, but unable to take the extra base on the walk.
Yeah, it was unlikely to begin with, but you got to like that if you're the coach of the Wareham Gatemen, showing the awareness, the presence of mind to sprint down to first base just in case. If Mickey Gasper gets back behind home plate and maybe has trouble picking up the ball or slips on the wet grass, then Sable might be able to take second base. So being able to recognize that, putting in the effort, the extra hustle to sprint down to first base just in case something happens, you got to like that as a coach.
So here is Ben Baird. The pitch to the righty just misses outside, so it's 1 ball and no strikes. Schneider has now walked 2 of the 6 hitters that he has faced since entering this game to start the bottom of the 7th. The Whitecaps are on top 8-5 here in the bottom of inning number 8. 1-0 pitch coming. Runners going for second base. The pitch is just outside, but throw down to second is not in time. It took a short hop on the infield grass before it reached the second baseman Dunn, and getting in there safely with stolen base number 7 on the season is Blake Sable. Sable has been perfect stealing bags so far this year. Now 7 out of 7. And that's the sort of thing that really needs to be emphasized when you're talking about a base runner. Not just how fast the guy is, but how good he is at base running, picking spots. When you see a guy like that who's 7 out of 7 now, it really jumps off the page. 2-0 is the count on Ben Baird. The pitch to the righty is hit hard on the ground to shortstop. Graffinino will move a bit to his right and field it. He throws to first for out number 2. But advancing to third on the play was Sable.
Nice play there by Graffinino. We've talked about Graffinino wanting to play back to give it as many chances as he can to read the ball well, but that also increases the chances of it taking a bad hop because there are more hops. And with the grass kind of slowing it down, the moisture on the ground slowing the ball down, Baird running hard down the first base, Graffinino had to make a very, very quick transfer there in order to make the throw on the first base in time. But we've talked so much about Graffinino's quick hands, you expect nothing less, and he was able to make the play.
Here is Stephen Kwan. The pitch to the left-handed hitter is in there for a strike at the knees. Runner now on third base, and Sable, who's got speed with 2 men outs. The Whitecaps are ahead 8-5 in the bottom of the 8th. Kwan has yet to be retired tonight. Infield single, walk, double, and a walk for him so far. He's also scored 2 runs over the course of this ball game. Had a terrific day for the Oregon State Beaver. The 0-1 pitch just misses off the outside edge. We've seen a pretty tight plate from Timothy Carey so far in this ball game, especially in these past few innings. And, you know, I remember we were talking to Tony Losi when he sat in the booth with us during yesterday's game as the 1-1 pitch is ready to come along. It's high in the air, left side foul territory, out of play. And Tony Losi was talking about how when he pitched that gem of a game where he threw 8 shutout innings just a couple of days ago for Brewster, that was against the Katua Kettleers. He had an ump that day that had a pretty tight zone, but Losi said, you know what, I was fine with it because he was consistent, and that's all I can ask for. So even if I'm not getting the calls, it's consistent. I know what to work for. I can adjust. 1-2 is the count. Here comes the pitch from Schneider, and it's a ground ball toward the right side. Nick Dunn gets a tricky hop, but scoops it up and throws to first base to retire the side. So Stephen Kwan is retired for the first time in this ball game. No runs, no hits, 1 man left on in the 8th inning for Wareham. We're through 8. The Whitecaps lead 8-5 on the Whitecaps Radio Network.
For the Highline Canal Cruise for 2, it was ticket 369176. The Iona Steamship Authority high-speed round trip Hyannis to Nantucket, ticket 369703. And for the pair of Kentucky Red Sox box seats, ticket 36.
We welcome you back to Spillane Field. We're starting the 9th inning here in the nice weather here. We had some rain early on in this game, but it's cleared off. We're going to get, looks like a full ball game. The Whitecaps are ahead 8-5. They're trying to lock this one down and try and get a playoff spot out of it. Costas will dig back in. The pitch is inside. I say dig back in. We're at the start of the inning, but he dug in the previous frame in the 8th. Got pretty deep into the count before Chandler Taylor was caught stealing second, and that ended the inning. The 1-0 pitch misses from Will Neely, a new hurler on the mound for the Wareham Gatemen. This is appearance number 8 for Neely this season. He's a right-hander. The pitch is in there for a called strike right at the knees to Mickey Gasper. So the count is 2-1. Neely is a Tennessee Vol. He's got a 2.79 ERA in 9 2/3 innings pitched this season. The 2-1 pitch misses low, so it's 3-1 now on Marty Costas. Just kind of picking right back up where he left off, getting deep into the count here this time like he did in that sort of phantom at-bat in the previous frame for the Whitecaps. Here comes a 3-1 from Neely, and it's a high chopper foul left side. Does just get foul. And the count is full 3-2 on Marty Costas. Neely, a rising junior. He is a Knoxville native. Going to school on Rocky Top. Here comes a 3-2 pitch. It's a foul ball toward the right side. Just kind of stuck the barrel of the bat out to Marty Costas. That was a nice job. We've seen a couple of times his ability to kind of go inside out just to spoil pitches. Did that there. That was a pitch in on the hands, but he pushed it over toward the right side, over the bleachers and out of play. So the count is still full. 3 balls and 2 strikes on Costas. Fresh off of a leadoff triple, his last official at bat. 3-2 pitch is fouled back again, and we'll do it again. Waiting on another payoff now from Will Neely. Nobody on, nobody out. We are in the top of the 9th. Brewster is ahead 8-5. Remember, if the Whitecaps win this game, they clinch a playoff spot, provided that Harwich loses to Bourne. Right now, Harwich is trailing Bourne in the bottom of the 8th. It's 3-1 Braves. The 3-2 pitch is fouled off once more. So Costas is staying alive here in this at-bat. Count still 3-2 on Marty. That one's hit hard, left side, fielded by the shortstop, Ben Baird. He throws across the diamond in time for the out. So nice play by Baird. When a ball gets hit that hard here in Wareham on this infield, it can do anything, but that time it took a pretty easy to handle hop, and Baird was able to make the throw over. So the 6-3 put out is the first out of the 9th inning. Of course, Brewster's not the only team that's going to be pulling for the Bourne Braves tonight. The Whitecaps and Whitecaps and Chatham, are right next to each other in the standings. So both of those teams would clinch, as Chatham is ahead in their game against Falmouth at home 3-2. The first pitch is fouled off by Hunter Bishop, so the count is 0-1. Bishop so far today for the Whitecaps has gotten on just once. It was a walk in the 2nd inning. He came around to score in that frame. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Bishop grounds it in front of the plate. Now it's moving toward the left side, and that one is going to be an infield hit, as Hunter Bishop just hit that one in the infield grass. The grass is pretty wet. It's pretty thick today, and it's hard to get a baseball through it very quickly. And the third baseman, Casser, just had to take a bite out of it, so Bishop reaches with his first hit of the game.
Yeah, we see yesterday Bishop launched one of the longest home runs of the season for the Whitecaps. We know he's a guy who hits the ball hard and hits the ball far. And there picks up his first hit of the game on this little number down the third base line, however you can get him. I mean, that just seems to be the way that it's going right now for Hunter Bishop. He's been really swinging a hot bat as of late, really playing well.
Yeah, you will take it. That's baseball for you. Now Bishop can do something on the base pass. He's very fast, both in the outfield and on the base pass. And the pitch is cut on and missed by Christian Malfetta, who is digging in for the first time in this ball game. He replaced Michael Curry in the DH spot after he pinch ran for the Whitecaps DH in the 7th inning. So this is the first time he has entered the game in any other capacity besides that pinch running appearance. Holding the set is Will Neely. The count is 0-1. Runners going for second. Got a great jump, did Hunter Bishop. The pitch misses low, and there won't be a throw to second base. Hunter Bishop has his 4th stolen base of the season. Terrific jump there from Bishop. Looked like he was kind of going on the first move there. Wasn't checked on by Will Neely. And now a runner in scoring position. Brewster looking to add on to this 8-5 advantage they have here in the top of the 9th inning in Wareham. Malfetta, so far on the season for Brewster, is hitting .227. The pitch to the righty swinging man from Stanford bounces in front of the catcher MacGyver. Bishop thought about heading to third but scrambled back to second once he realized that MacGyver was able to keep the baseball in front of him. 2-1 is the count. Malfetta's got a .280 OBP so far this season, no home runs, and 7 runs driven in for the Stanford product. Do have an update from Harwich. Bourne looks like they have tacked on another run. So it's 4-1 now in the top of the 9th. The pitch is cut on and missed. So the count 2-2 now on Christian Malfetta. This is kind of a classic baseball situation. You'll have seen this. You see this in the major leagues with teams watching the one game and keeping track of the one that they're in. Brewster's still not out of the woods yet. This is still very much a winnable game for the Wareham Gatemen, who trail 8-5 here in the top of the inning number 9. Bishop taking a pretty aggressive lead off of second base. Count even 2-2 to the righty swinging Christian Malfetta. Will Neely holds the set, checks the runner, and deals. It misses low, so the count is full on Christian Malfetta. This game got out to a pretty hot start. Brewster and Wareham traded 4 spots in the second inning. Brewster went up 4-0, and then Wareham came right back in the shutdown inning. Whitecaps would fall behind 5-4, but then retake the lead on a homer from Chandler Taylor. A 2-run shot, and they've had it since then. The pitch is in there for a called strike 3 at the letters. Malfetta was taking a couple of steps over toward first base when Tim Carey rung him up. So Malfetta is down on strikes, and now it's Kyle Datris' turn.
Yeah, Malfetta thought that one was a bit outside. Home plate umpire Tim Carey disagreed, so Malfetta heading back to the dugout looking.
Now it's Kyle Datris' turn. So we've seen Whitecaps go and swing and miss at high fastballs, and that time they take a fastball up at the letters for strike 3. The pitch to Datris misses down and in on an opening fastball from Neely to make the count 1-0. That's why you like to be ahead in the count. You don't have to make that decision. Datris so far today, he walked his last time up, and that's the only time he's reached base. He's 0-for-3 with that walk. Was left stranded on first base in that 7th inning, where the Whitecaps scored a pair of runs. 1-0 pitch, swing and a miss. Out in front of that one was Datris on a breaking ball that was diving down. Looked like it was over the plate, and that evens the count up at 1-1 strike on the Tar Heel. It's 8-5. Brewster is ahead. We're in the top of inning number 9. Bishop is on second base, and there are 2 men out. Neely holds the set. Here comes the pitch. It misses up and in, so 2-1 is now the count on Kyle Datris. Tell you what, we've seen a lot of scoring in this ball game. We've seen some exciting plays. The home run from Taylor, the triple from Costas. But this game has not had a very consistent rhythm so far tonight. A lot of long counts, a lot of foul balls. Approaching the 3-hour mark of this game. 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Another pitch that was diving down that Datris swung over. So it's 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and a runner on second for the Brewster Whitecaps here, leading by 3 in the top of the 9th. Will Neely trying to get out of this frame with just the 1 infield hit allowed. That's how Bishop got to the base paths, infield single, and then stole second. Bishop is now 4 out of 8 stealing bases this year. 2-2 pitch misses down and in, so the count is full now with 2 men out on Kyle Datris. This kind of reminds you of that 4th of July game that we saw Aiden against Harwich between the Whitecaps and the Mariners. A game that was just marred by a lot of foul balls. It was a great job by the hitters to keep things active. 3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, he got him. Will Neely wins the battle. He fools Kyle Datris for the 3rd time in that at-bat. Got 3 big swings and misses for the 3 strikes. And the Whitecaps failed to score in the top of the 9th. No runs, 1 hit, and 1 runner left on for Brewster in the top of inning number 9. Last licks coming up for Wareham in the bottom of the 9th inning. They trail 8-5 due to the Gatemen. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Brewster Whitecaps Baseball on the Brewster Whitecaps Radio Network. We go to the bottom of the 9th inning here at Spillane Field. The Whitecaps trying to slam the door on the Wareham Gatemen and trying to clinch a playoff spot as well, as Bourne is still leading Harwich. Right now they are in the 9th inning of that game. It's 4-1. Bourne is on top. If Bourne wins that game and the Whitecaps win here tonight, then it's a playoff spot guarantee for the Brewster Whitecaps. And it's a new pitcher for the Whitecaps, their 5th pitcher of the game. And it's another Brewster debut as Connor McNamara out of Marist, a Red Fox, will come on. He's going to face Kyle Casser to begin things. And the pitch is in there for a called strike to Casser to start things off for him. Casser so far today has 3 runs batted in, had a 2-run single in the 2nd and a ribby double in the 4th. The pitch misses down and in to Casser. McNamara, as I mentioned, making his first appearance with the Brewster Whitecaps from Marist College. This past spring had a 6.07 ERA for Marist in 12 appearances, 7 of them starts. The 1-1 pitch is in there for a called strike 2 at the knees. So McNamara ahead in the count. The righty out of Marist, facing a lefty in Kyle Casser. 1-2 is the count, and here comes the pitch. It's a liner left side. It's going to get through for a base hit. That one took 1 hop off of this gray infield and got through into left field. So Kyle Casser, with his 3rd hit of the ball game, puts the leadoff runner on for Wareham.
It actually looked like McNamara had Casser fooled there with an off-speed pitch. Casser was way out in front of it and just kind of threw his hands in the barrel of the bat at the ball towards the outside part of the plate and just almost flicked it in between short and 3rd and into left field. So not the prettiest base hit, but I'm sure Kyle Casser will take it.
Tell you what, he had me fooled. A very deliberate windup from McNamara on the mound. Kind of hard to adjust to, probably. Here's Willie McIver. The pitch to the righty is hit on the ground, right side. Moving over to field it is Nick Dunn. He throws to short for 1. Over to first base. It's a high throw, a wild throw that gets into the Wareham dugout. It's going to be out of play, and Willie McIver will go to second base. But the Whitecaps do get an out, and here in the bottom of the 9th inning, where the tying run is still not at the plate or on deck even, that's an important situation there. I like the decision by Graffinino to go for it. Not the hugest error. But now the tying run is on deck with Durant coming up.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people could have even looked at the ground ball to Nick Dunn and thought, okay, just take the sure out at first base. But to get the lead runner, it gives you at least a chance at a double play. He understood that, okay, I'm going to get this runner at second. I have the time. This is going to get there in time. And Graffinino, obviously, that's a tough play at first, or trying to complete the double play. Rushed the throw a little bit, and again, with the wet ball, wet grass, slipped out of his hand a bit.
Runner on second base, 1 man out. It's 8-5 Brewster. Bottom of the 9th here in Wareham. And Duran laces one to right field on the ground. It's going to get into right field for a base hit. Holding the runner up at third base there is the Wareham third base coach. They don't want to take any chances here. He's not the tying run. You're in the bottom of the 9th. So McIver stays at third. It's a single for Duran. He's now on first base. And Jake Anchia, who has 4 home runs already on the Cape this season, is the tying run now for the Gatemen in the bottom of the 9th. A big spot here for Anchia, and a big spot here for Connor McNamara making his Whitecaps debut. It's 8-5 Brewster here in the bottom of the 9th inning. And things have just finished up in Harwich. The Braves have defeated the Mariners 4-1, so if Brewster wins tonight, they get a playoff spot. But a lot more work to be done here. The pitch to Anchia is up high to the righty. Anchia is 0 for 4 so far today. 3 ground balls to his credit and 1 pop fly. But has a chance to erase all of that right now. 1-0 is the count. First and third with 1 man out. The pitch to Anchia is hit high in the air into center field. It's playable out there for the center fielder Bishop. He takes a couple of steps back, camps underneath it, and makes the catch for the second out. Tagging from third base is McIver. He will come in to score. So it's a sacrifice fly and an RBI for Anchia. It's 8-6, but you have to feel like the second out of this 9th inning is much more important than all that.
I say the Whitecaps will take it because now the big power bat, Anchia is retired with an out to center field. Now, however you want to get that last out, you can, because you only got 1 runner on. You'll trade the out for the run for the out, and you're 1 out away from clinching the playoff spot.
1 out away indeed. Here is John Topa. He remains the tying run. Topa was still with no home runs on the Cape League this season. He didn't have any this past spring with UConn either. The pitch to Topa misses up high. on a fastball offering from McNamara, so the count is 1 ball and no strikes. It's now 8-6. Brewster still on top of Wareham here in the bottom of the 9th inning. A win for Brewster means they are in the playoffs. 1-0 pitch. Misses low, so it's 2-0 now. McNamara getting some encouragement from the Whitecaps fans that made the trip all the way out west to Wareham tonight. He's behind in the count 2-0 to Topa, the pitch. Misses up high, so it's 3-0. Topa so far is 0 for 4. Struck out in the 5th inning. His last time up, he grounded out to shortstop. That was against Zach Schneider, who worked 2 clean innings for Brewster. Walked a couple, but no hits allowed and no runs. And the pitch is inside for ball 4. So Topa advances via the walk. The tying run is now on first base, and the winning run will come up to the plate in the form of Robbie Metz.
And, yeah, now Mickey Gaspard walking out to the mound to have a chat with Connor McNamara. Just say, hey, you know, forget about that runner at second base. Focus on Robbie Metz at the plate because you're just 1 out away from clinching a playoff spot. You're 1 out away from closing this game out. This is where his attention should be. A lot of guys might focus on the runners on base.
Yep. And especially here in the 9th inning, though, it looks like Jamie Shevchik is going to make his way out to the mound. There is a man warming out there in the pen for Brewster. You wonder if this is it for McNamara here. And Shevchik is going to take the baseball. I believe McNamara was offering it to him. And Shevchik might just be milking this a little bit. We've seen him do this a couple of times this year. But maybe not. He's bringing the infield in. He's going to have a conversation. Maybe he's just saying don't pay attention to the runners. But now the man will come in from the bullpen. I believe that's Matthew Beck who's coming on for the Brewster Whitecaps, so we'll step aside. The Whitecaps are an out away from a playoff spot here in Wareham. You don't want to miss that. It's 8-6, Brewster in the bottom of the 9th. We welcome you back to Spillane Field. We're in the bottom of the 9th inning here in Wareham. If you're just joining us, you pitched a great time to come in. Matthew Beck is on for Brewster. This is the 6th pitcher, but the Whitecaps have sent up. Milto went 2, Demers went 2, Bordner went 2, Schneider went 2, and McNamara went 2/3 of an inning here in the bottom of the 9th inning. And Beck is coming on to try and get the coveted 1-out save here in the 9th. As Jamie Shevchik electing to bring out the hook and bring out a guy who has plenty of experience coming in and being sort of a fireman, putting other teams to bed for Brewster this year. The Whitecaps are going to get the playoff spot for sure if they win this game. Harwich lost to Bourne 4-1 at White House Field tonight. So Brewster, if they're able to close this one out, would get a playoff spot. But it's first and second with 2 men out as Robbie Metz digs in for the Wareham Gatemen. It's 8-6. The Whitecaps are on top here in the bottom of the 9th. Go ahead, run at the plate in the form of Robbie Metz. Here comes the pitch. It misses up high, and the count is 1-0. Metz, if you're wondering, does not have a home run on the Cape this season. Did have one for GW this past spring, but certainly not a power hitter. At a .339 average, that's what he's known for. Here comes the 1-0 offering. Swing and a miss on a fastball that was up. Tell you what, Robbie Metz was thinking about getting his first Cape League home run with that swing. And the count is 1 ball and 1 strike. Metz also does have a home run on the Cape, so I shouldn't say it did have one last season for these Wareham Gatemen. So does have a wood bat homer in his arsenal. He's the winning run at the plate, tying runs at first base with 2 men out, bottom of the 9th. 1-1 the count. Beck checks the runner at second base. The 1-1 pitch is up high on a fastball. So 2-1 now the count on Metz. They checked to see if he went, but he did not go, according to Nick DeMarchi from the first base ump's perspective. Wasn't particularly close to his swing, I don't think. Metz is 0 for 3 with a walk coming into this at-bat. 2-1 is the count. Here comes the pitch from Beck. Swing and a miss. 2-2 is the count now on Robbie Metz. Another fastball that he blew by him. And the Whitecaps are a strike away from the Cape League playoffs here. Beck staring in, takes a deep breath, takes another. Count even 2-2 on the righty swinging Metz. Now Beck comes set. Checks the runner at second base. Checks him again. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Runner's going. It misses up high. And the count is 3-2. That's going to... Not sure if that will be a stolen base or defensive indifference for Jared Duran, but he advances to third. He's not the tying run, so I think that's going to be defensive indifference. In any case, it's now runners on the corners. 3-2 and 2 out, which means now the tying run at first base, John Topa, will be going on this pitch. Very important here. Here comes a 3-2 pitch. Just fouls it off, and I mean just. It was a check swing, and it hit off the very end of his bat. Metz has to be thanking his lucky stars there because he didn't know where that pitch was going. It might have been inside, so perhaps a break for both ways. In any case, it's a foul ball. We'll do it again, 3-2.
You mentioned just foul it off. I actually thought it hit him at first, but just off the end of the bat.
Here comes the 3-2 pitch. It hit him. Ran inside and hit him in the ribs, so he will advance to first base, no problem. Well, Metz, he's all right, but the bases are loaded now for Wareham, and the tying run is in scoring position here in the bottom of the 9th. The Whitecaps have a man warming up in their bullpen. Looks like that's Jonathan Stever out of Indiana, who's warming up for Brewster. What an inning this is turning into. 1 run already in for the Gatemen on the sacrifice fly for Manchia. They trail by 2, 8-6 the score in favor of the Whitecaps, who again are 1 out away from clinching a playoff spot. So the bases are loaded for Sable, the USC Trojan. Sable has a single and a run scored today, also walked his last time up and then stole second. Bases full of Gatemen in the bottom of the 9th. Here comes the first pitch to the lefty. It's in there for a called strike. Just grooved that one in there. Did Matthew Beck. And he's ahead in the count, 0-1. Duran on third. Topa on second. Robbie Metz aboard first base. Holding the set is Matthew Beck. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. It's hit hard into right field. That's going to get down for a base hit. Taylor runs to it. They're waving home the runner from third base. Here comes the throw to the plate, and they bring him back to third at the last moments. That throw would have beaten him. A terrific decision. 1 run comes in to score. Duran crossed the plate, but the runner, John Topa, was heading in, and I swear he was about maybe halfway to home plate. He reversed course and headed back, and that might have prevented this game from ending. In any case, it's a ribby single for Blake Sable, and it's now a 1-run game, 8-7, bottom 9.
Well, Jay, that was the 100% right decision by the Wareham third base coach to hold John Topa at third base because he would have been done at home plate. That was a nice throw from Chandler Taylor out in right field. Got to Mickey Gasper on a hop, and Topa would have ran right into him. And as long as Gasper held onto the ball, he would have been out. So, right decision there. Although now it keeps the inning alive for the Wareham Gatemen.
And in the true poetic sense of baseball, this is going to come down to the number 9 hitter, Ben Baird, who is 0 for 3 with a walk and a pair of strikeouts tonight. If he gets on base, this game is tied. The bases are full with 2 men out. It's 8-7, the Whitecaps on top. In the bottom of the 9th, doesn't get much more exciting than this. Here comes the pitch from Matthew Beck. It's foul back to the screen, so Beck again is ahead in the count, 0-1. Again, if the Whitecaps win this game, they will clinch a spot in the Cape League playoffs. Orleans and YD ahead of them have already clinched spots, and Chatham would join them as well. In fact, they already have with Harwich's defeat. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. It's fouled back again, so it's 0-2 now. Matthew Beck a strike away from ending this. Beck came in with 2 men out after McNamara, who came in this ninth inning to try and get the save, just didn't quite have it. And Shevchik really wanted to make sure they slammed the door. Bases loaded, 2 men out, bottom of the ninth. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. Just a bit high. The count is 1-2. Did not miss by much. We've seen a tight zone from Timothy Carey all night, and it continues there. Been very consistent, I think, at the plate. 1-2 count. Here comes the pitch. Fouled away behind the plate. That was an off-speed pitch. A nice job by Baird to just get some wood on it. And the count is 1-2. Tim Carey demanding some more baseballs from the bat boy. And he gets what he needs. Got a whole horde of them. That's got to be 6 or 7 baseballs that he took from the bat boy. Doesn't want any more interruptions in this ninth inning. The bases are loaded with 2 men out. Whitecaps ahead 8-7. 2 runs already in this bottom of the ninth for Wareham. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. It misses up high. Counts 2-2. John Topa on third base does have some speed. So if a baseball gets away from Mickey Gasper behind the plate, we could see an exciting play with the tying run aboard at third base. Bases loaded, 2 men out, bottom of the ninth inning. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Foul back to the screen. He just got a piece. A terrific at-bat here from Ben Baird. Just barely staying alive here in the bottom of the ninth inning. What a ball game we've seen tonight. Beck still taking his customary deep breaths on the mound, trying to stay composed here. He's done a terrific job of that all season. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. In there, called strike 3, and the Whitecaps are going to the playoffs. Matthew Beck comes in to slam the door. It was a close one. Not the ending that I'm sure Jamie Shevchik would have liked to kind of keep the heart rate down for Whitecaps fans, but Ben Baird is called out on strikes, and the game is over. 2 runs come in for Wareham in the ninth inning, but they lose by a final score of 8-7, and the Whitecaps, with Harwich's loss at White House Field tonight, are in. They have punched their ticket to the Cape League postseason in a thrilling finish, Aiden.
A thrilling finish indeed, Carter. 8-7 the final score. It wasn't the prettiest win, but Coach Shevchik and this Whitecaps team will certainly take it. They are going back to the playoffs after missing the postseason last year. And it was a big win here at Spillane Field, 8-7. They showed that even when this pitching staff doesn't give it, the best performance ever, obviously Paulie Milto only lasting 2 innings, the bullpen went the rest of the way, and this offense really picked them up with 8 runs scored.
Both teams shaking hands. This will be the last time that these 2 teams face off in the regular season. The Whitecaps get a split in the season series, but much more importantly, they will advance to the playoffs. We're not sure who their play. We now know that the 4 teams that will be representing the Eastern Division are Orleans, YD, Chatham, and Brewster, but the seeding is still totally up in the air. But in any case, the Whitecaps will be playing playoff baseball. They will not be a repeat of last season where they collapsed at the end of the year. They had a 5-game lead with 5 to play and blew it last season. No, not so this year. This was an odyssey of a baseball game, over 3 hours in length. We saw a total of 11 pitchers come in, 5 for Wareham and 6 for Brewster. Such a strange ball game. We saw 15 runs come in, but at the end of the day, the Whitecaps get the victory. There's a lot to talk about in this ball game, and we are far from finished here at Spillane Field tonight. We'll hear from our player of the game with Morris Sheridan, as well as head coach Jamie Shevchik on what this means for the team going forward, and maybe how he'll approach the rest of his season now with the playoffs assured for Brewster. We will have playoff baseball for the Whitecaps this season. A thrilling victory. They take it over the Wareham Gatemen by a final score of 8-7. We'll be back with the postgame show right after this. Don't you dare go anywhere. You're listening to Brewster Whitecaps Baseball on the Whitecaps Radio Network. We welcome you back to Spillane Field. The Whitecaps winners tonight in dramatic fashion. They dispatched the Wareham Gatemen by a final score of 8-7. The final line score in this game, Brewster, they were out hitting this game. They had 8 runs, 8 hits, and 2 errors for the Whitecaps. Wareham, 7 runs, 10 hits, and no errors in this ball game for the Wareham Gatemen. A terrific game, a lot of different offensive contributors for Brewster, a lot of folks that you could pick to be our player of the game tonight, but Maura Sheridan has settled on Chandler Taylor. Taylor tonight had 4 runs driven in, including a 2-run homer in the 5th inning, and he is with Maura.
Thanks, guys. I'm here with Chandler Taylor, and your 2-run homer gave this team a lead that they never lost. You've kind of developed this kind of clutch mentality as a player. How did you get to that place?
I guess just not trying to do too much. When I get in RBI situations, earlier in the season I was trying to do a little too much, and now I think I've kind of settled in, and I'm able to put better swings on balls.
How did you approach that at bat, knowing that your team was down?
Didn't really want to put any pressure on myself, just see a good pitch and put a good swing on it, and let the rest fall.
With this win, Harwich also lost. You guys are in the playoffs, but there's still 5 games left in the regular season. How important is it to just finish strong?
Yeah, it's big to go into the playoffs, hot. But at the same time, it's big for the organization. Just for us to get in the playoffs is huge, and that's what Chev was saying to us in the huddle. You got to be here for 3 more days, so why not win? So I guess we'll figure it out these last 5 and go into the playoffs on a hot streak, hopefully.
All right, thank you so much. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you so much, Maura. And that is kind of a good way to sum it up. It's been 5 more games left in the season. It's been an up-and-down year, certainly for Brewster. And, of course, in a league where 80% of the teams make the playoffs, it's not, the most monumental achievement, but it has to be encouraging for the Whitecaps to know that no matter what, they're going to have a little bit more time left in the season. And we'll go right back downstairs to Maura. She's got another Whitecap to talk to.
Thanks, guys. I'm here with Zach Schneider. 2 scoreless innings and your first start in the Cape League. How did you feel out there?
It's his first day here. He's nice.
Felt great. I just play like any other game. Felt real good. Pound the strike zone. Yep.
What's it mean to have the support? As we just saw Chandler Taylor running out there from your teammates. You just met them a couple days ago. What's it mean to have that kind of support from this team?
Feels great. Just like everyone's on your back, so they're all playing together now. We're in playoffs now. We're going to get it.
What was it like? Everybody wants to play in the Cape League. What was it like to get that phone call and know you were coming down here to play with the best of the best?
It was unreal. I got the chills right when I got the call, and it was just I was really shocked.
All right, thank you so much. Congrats on the win.
Thank you.
Back to you guys.
Oh, that's great to hear. That's something that I'm sure happens to a lot of the ball players that we'll find that we've seen so far on the Cape. I'm Schneider feeling that, getting the chills when he's called upon out of a junior college going to FAU this coming year, but JUCO player getting the call to come in and fill a very needed role for the Brewster Whitecaps. Had an excellent first appearance. No hits allowed, no runs allowed in 2 innings. Did walk a couple of batters, but that was it. Very nice outing for him, and I'm sure Jamie Shevchik is encouraged by the wealth of pitching that he saw tonight. A lot of arms for Brewster.
Yeah, that's been the problem with this team so far this season is that they're running thin on arms coming down the final stretch. But to get new guys into this roster, into this pitching staff, and get them into games, get them experience so that, coming into these final 5 games, now you're in the playoffs, you can get these guys experience and not have the potential of, if they go out there and struggle, it's not like you're going to miss the playoffs because of that game. So now you can get them as much experience as they want heading into the playoffs.
That is very important, and we're going to send it right back down to Maura Sheridan. She is with Whitecaps head coach Jamie Shevchik. Maura.
Thanks so much, guys. I'm here with Jamie Shevchik, and we saw 6 different pitchers on the mound. I'm not going to say all their names because that would just be a mouthful. What did you see from them today and the kind of the team effort it took to get this win?
Yeah, today was like a do-or-die situation. I guess we went all in. We said that in the beginning. We're going to use everybody today to try to lock this thing up as quick as we possibly can. And then, if the next couple of days breathe a little bit. So, we were, if we didn't win this game today, we were going to be short-staffed for the next couple of days. So today, when we got into the 7th, 8th inning, it was a must-win.
Zach Schneider came in, pitched 2 scoreless innings. What's it mean to see that kind of production from a guy who's just new?
It was good because he's a guy, he reminds me a little bit like Robert Broom. So he's going to be able to come in and really help us out. He threw 2 great innings, literally right out of the car. And the same thing with McNamara as well. Struggled a little bit there, but we got a chance to at least see him in a big situation. And there's going to be some breathing room for him to get some more innings over the next 5 days too.
With the Harwich loss, you guys clinched the playoffs. Chandler Taylor said it's great for the organization. How do you feel about finally making the playoffs?
It is great for the organization. I mean, we really care. This is why we're here, is to get into the playoffs and make a run for it. 2 years ago, I watched YD back in the last day and go ahead and win a Cape League championship. So at this point, the second half of the season starts next week. So we'll work on this week in game situations, a couple things that we need to work on and get our pitchers ready and healthy for round one.
All right, thank you so much. Congrats on the win. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you so much, Maura. It's a happy coach, Jamie Shevchik. And listen, that is very high praise for Jamie Shevchik to say that he reminds him of Robert Broom, who had such a terrific season for the Whitecaps, wound up getting shut down over and then left the team just after the All-Star game. What do you think of that? Do you see that comparison a little bit? I mean, the delivery is similar.
I mean, yeah, the delivery is obviously the most evident similarity between the two. I think I just need to see a little bit more from him before I start throwing out there. I mean, think about it. Robert Broom had a .44 ERA and made the All-Star team. But I liked what I saw from him. I think he changes speeds well, changes eye levels well. I mean, I was deceived by that delivery. I can only imagine what it's like to hit against him. So I think there you get the comparisons because of the unique delivery, because of the way the ball moves out of his hand. Will he find the same amount of success as Robert Broom did in the Cape League? That is yet to be seen, but he's off to a pretty good start today.
But hey, Jamie Shevchik is batting 1,000 on his after one appearance predictions for sidearming relievers. He said Robert Broom was going to make the All-Star team after his opening night appearance, and he did. So I don't think we should doubt him here. It's a big win for Brewster. They make the playoffs. It's official. They beat the Wareham Gatemen tonight by a final score of 8-7. They will be back in action tomorrow. There's going to be a ball game tomorrow. It's going to be interesting to see how Jamie Shevchik handles his pitching staff. Bradley Spooner is the guy that's going to be listed as the starter for tomorrow, and you have to think that he is going to have a lot on his shoulders to try and just keep the bullpen from being overused in that game to get some length. Obviously, with the playoffs assured, the pressure's a little bit less on to get the W in that game, but you don't want to burn guys if you don't have to. And today, the Whitecaps sending 6 pitchers up when they're already a little bit short-staffed pitching-wise. They will be in Bourne for that game tomorrow. First pitch will be right around 6 o'clock, and you can tune in right here on the Whitecaps Radio Network. Until then, for Aiden Doyle, Morris Sheridan, Koki Riley, and everybody with our crew here on the Whitecaps Radio Network, we'll say goodbye for now from Spillane Field. The Whitecaps win at 8-7. They are in the Cape League playoffs. Have a great Thursday night, everybody.